The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Let's start this party with a bang!
Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is America's stepdad, the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm feeling hot, I'm feeling fresh, I'm feeling brand new. I'm feeling like I'm on fire like Brad Pitt in what's left of his movie career.
Dude, we were together on Sunday. I'm surprised you weren't on fire from that. But we'll tell you more about that fun, wonderful time, maybe over on Patreon. But folks, we are joined by two interim bullshitters tonight because Kendo and Nick, well, they're on location. So tonight, we're joined by our pinch hitter. You know him, you love him. Say hello to Mr. Wrestling with Horror, Pete Daddy Dollar.
It is I, it is he, it is me, P double D from Wrestling with Horror. Yeah, that's the place to be. It's good to be back as the pinch hitter here in the presence of such a wonderful panel, and above me, Dion, my good friend. Good to see you, sir, as always, brother. And if you're wondering about my rather eclectic wardrobe choice this evening,
I am
for our wrestling company. We have in August Samurai Slam, which is our WrestleMania. The company is Super Shogun. We're a Japanese themed promotion. So Samurai Slam, everybody is required to show up in shirt and tie, suit and tie, professional attire. So my new stablemate and I, Roberto Cruz, are both basically huge Scott Hall fans. And I'm like, well, we both can't be Scott Hall, so why don't we be Hall and Nash? And we're going to show up in board shorts, flip-flops, and Hawaiian shirts when everybody else is wearing shirt and ties, So I'm like, we're just kind of a rib on the boys and kind of a nod because that's just who we are. So it's good to be here. And Script, it's great to see you as always. Jeff, thank you for having me. Chat, hello.
Well, folks, let's say hello to our final bullshitter of the evening from the Great White North. Normally you see him on a Tuesday, but he's here on Thursday. Say hello to the Script Doctor.
Hey, so happy to be here. Honored again. I didn't think I was going to make it because I was on a commute. I was on my phone earlier on another stream, chilling with those guys. Happy to be here with you guys. Just made it in time. Happy to be here with Pete again because it's been a while since we've been on stream. But I've missed talking with him because he's got some wonderful film knowledge, but also some really good one-liners here and there.
You gotta hang out with him when he holds court. When we were at a Horror Hound for the channel back in 2023, Pete was holding court at the dinner table. He was telling us stories at the pizza restaurant, and he was almost like a minister. It was hilarious.
I am a minister.
Me too, actually. I got my paperwork behind me. I have I've performed weddings, folks.
See, I'm only ordained to perform divorces.
I've done weddings too. I performed a wedding in a hot tub. That's where I've been. That's the.
Sounds
yeah.
You beat me. I just bought a suit and we all walked out to wrestling theme. So it was one of those weddings, but it was a great time.
Nice.
Folks, that's back in the archives of the channel from 2019. So be like Clone Geek and know all of our episodes by number, word for word, because you will win something. But we keep telling you guys, we are willing to send out some free stuff as a thank you for those who help us with timestamps so we can put that on the future versions of our episodes so we can make ourselves a little more searchable in the SEO index. It helps us, it helps everybody involved with the channel, and it just gets us rolling to where we belong at the top of the food chain. But we're on our way. So folks, tonight we have a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to be more than just Bond. We're going to be more than just the Street Fighter casting because that's just a drop in the bucket. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We can start, though, by you hitting that thumbs up button. It helps us out. Again, we appreciate it. And we can start with the word of the day after our message from our friend, I believe it's from Sejorjan. So, Sejorjan coming in early. Thank you, Sejorjan says, so if we get a black 007, will Colt 45 and Mopar be the brand new replacements? Not resting on laurels in the new director, 007 is still open to corpo meddling. Yeah, we're going to get into that fully, but Georgian, I don't want any of those things to happen. I don't think James Bond is a malt beverage connoisseur. See, no matter who is black enough to play James Bond, no person is cool enough to pimp Colt 45 like Billy D. Williams, or William D. Williams for those who know. So it would be a futile gesture to even have someone attempt to be that cool, that suave. Like, if Billy D. Williams walked in a room when Roger Moore was trying to chat up Tanya Roberts in A View to a Kill, Tanya Roberts would be going home with Billy D. Williams, not James Bond. But there is nobody on the planet that suave, so I don't think it's happening. We'll have to stick with our, Bollinger Champagne, Dom Perignon, what else? The Belvedere vodkas. I think James Bond will be smart to stick with that. But they are doing something, Georgian, which I also think is smart, is the fact that they're, and I know this sounds hypocritical, they're merchandising Bond a little better, making him feel like a viable franchise, not just hey, I went to my local Target and they had a James Bond Hot Wheel. We'll finally get Bond video games back on the shelves, a movie, stuff to talk about. It's been, for everybody that loves the Daniel Craig era, awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed those films. But for other James Bond fans like me who are waiting for a little more than just a snooty movie where your pinky sticks out when you talk about it, I'm happy. But we'll get into the director and all of our fears a little later on. But Shrubbles08 is here with the word of the day, and well, Mr. Cleo is the word of the day, Dion. And I want to know how you feel about some of these wonderful mystic titles. So we have the word of the day is Mr. Cleo. Debbie does Mr. Cleo. I don't think that's a complaint.
That's a good one.
Depending on what Debbie looks like.
2-hour film.
Good on you if you have that kind of staying power. How Miss Cleo got her phone me now, or call me now again. Sorry, the word is Miss Cleo, not Mr. Cleo. Shit, I'm projecting here. Miss Cleo's back to Jamaica. Tyler Perry's Medea and Miss Cleo in Brokeback Hood, and a fistful of Miss Cleo.
I
think we should produce. I think we should produce Brokeback Hood as a My Black Ass production. A story of racism, poverty, and gayness. Brokeback Hood.
I love
These
comes
are
above
mutually
all that.
exclusive.
Would the seduction be a very large rump on both of the men?
Yeah, and
Could
just
be.
like lots of
Could be.
grape soda.
Yep.
Oh no, we're classy. Cavarcier, Dion.
Yeah, sure. Shit ain't gonna be Syrah.
You could have Glenn Gary, Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo.
It is an all-male
Cool.
cast.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Leo goes to Africa.
Miss Cleo's big score.
The treasure of Miss Cleo.
That's just a lot of phone bills.
What's eating Miss Cleo?
Who's
Hunt for
eating
Red
Miss
Miss
Cleo?
Cleo.
God for
Postman
Redmond.
always
You want to
brings
stay
in
away
food.
1 week a month.
Other than that, she's Miss Cleo in the dark.
Oh God, I don't trust her. It bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die.
Fried green Miss Cleo.
Isn't that like Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah,
Yeah.
except it's somehow sexy.
Attack of the 50-foot Miss Cleo.
Call me now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, call me now for your free reader, Lord of mercy.
Oh, here's a horror comedy. I Married a Miss Cleo.
Here you go.
Man. Folks, send in your Miss Cleo titles all night long. We will be reading them. I'm checking in. We got Ready How Miss Cleo Got Her Groove Back, The Devil and Miss Cleo, Tyler Perry presents Medea is Miss Cleo, Mrs. Cleo Does Dallas, Miss Cleo for Red October, Miss Cleo and the Temple of Doom. I like this one, The Wrath of Miss Cleo. It's like
You
you
won't
didn't
see it
pay.
coming, but she will.
Bumble clot. Dion, we need to we need to get the AI from Google, and then we'll do some Mr. Cleo movies.
For sure.
Like I'll do a Mr. Cleo drawing. I'll tell it what it looks like in great detail. I'll use AI to write a prompt to get that picture, and then Mr. Cleo will be like the biggest film in Singapore. I believe in you, man.
We get him Turkish Miss Cleo too, or Mr. Cleo. There's always got to be a Turkish knockoff, like Turkish Spider-Man and Turkish Star Wars. So you have Turkish
Turkish
Mr.
Star
Cleo.
Wars is amazing.
Have you seen Turkish Spider-Man?
with Superman?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's freaking amazing.
They just go like this and fly up and shit. All right, so guys, we have had some fun with Mr. Cleo, but Mr. Cleo can be back whenever folks have any questions. You know what to do. He's our psychic extraordinaire here on the channel, better than Johnny Wishbone and more alive than the real Miss Cleo. So for those wise words, you know what to do. Now, guys, let's take it back a bit to the year 2002. We're all old enough to remember 2002. We remember that a lot of films were released in that year, but none had more hype than Spider-Man. So Spider-Man from 20 years ago, 23 years ago at this point, is getting a re-release. Did you guys hear about this? Because it's making me feel ancient as shit.
No.
No, this is news to me, but
I didn't hear about it.
man, that takes me back. I still have the very same Spider-Man t-shirt I wore on the first day that movie came out 23 years ago.
Nice.
And it's in great condition too, so.
I still go regularly to the same theater that I saw it in 2002, and I'm hoping that if wait, are they talking re-release on like 4K or in theaters? They're re-releasing it in theaters?
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy is returning to theaters, and it includes a 4K version of Spider-Man 2.1. Now, the press is trying to sell Spider-Man 2.1 as a bigger deal. I love it, but it's been available since 2007. So Spider-Man 2.1, it just isn't in 4K, but it's on the Blu-ray, and it's on the 4K as a separate disc. But that is cool, because I'm a Spider-Man fan, nerd if you will, and it's nice that this version's getting re-released. But in September, guys, the end of September, they're going to release all the Spider-Man films. They're going to be playing from September 26th for the first Spider-Man, September 27th for 2.1, and the 28th gives you Spider-Man 3. There will be an encore the following weekend. I'm going to go out of my way to check these out because I saw them all 22 plus years ago, had a good time with them, and it would be nice to go relive them on the big screen.
Yeah, I'd like to take my son to see these in the theater because we've watched them all together like ad nauseum because I love these. And yeah, it'd be a special thing to be. It's almost as cool as seeing like the original Star Wars movies in the theater again.
Yeah.
I can't believe that that movie is held in the same regard, because I remember like counting down for this movie like it was yesterday. I had my figure, I would do my little drawings every day, and then it finally hit, and I liked it. Because how many times have we gone to a movie that we were so excited for, and we're like, well, that sucked. Spider-Man wasn't that for me.
No.
That was Robin Williams and RV was that for me.
Robin Williams had a lot of stinkers in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I walked out of that
blame
movie.
Are we now? Pete wants to take the next generation. Dion, you going to take the kids to go see these?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been what was it?
They played it on CG West.
Spider-Man? Are you sure? Well, I guess they played it already. I don't remember that shit, but
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Well,
SC's
shit.
been doing retro movies anyway. So yeah, I mean, if this comes back, we'll probably go see it again for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to drop this in some early news because I know a lot of our listeners are diehard Spider-Man fans. It's weird. I feel like I talk about the movie too much, and they're the ones that'll send me messages about it. So, folks, this year you can watch Spider-Man. Maybe we'll do a live stream of it. I don't think we've done all three of them here on the channel. Clone Geek, have we done all the Spider-Man commentaries here on the channel? If not, it'd be fun to do if I could get the right crew of people to do a triple feature. We're drinking and partying and all that fun stuff in the classic WCBS style. I think we need to bring that back. We'll get Nick, and you guys are obviously invited too. We'll have a lot of fun.
Oh, I'll definitely jump in for one of those.
That would be fun. It'd also be fun because it's been 20 years since I've been able to get drunk, so we could try and see if I can get drunk again, because that hasn't happened in a long time. I might get alcohol poisoning before I get drunk, though.
I don't want to chance that, but it would be funny to see what happens first. If you get drunk or I pass out, it takes a lot. Like, not everybody sees what I'm doing off camera when we play those drinking games, so I'm ready to throw down the gauntlet script. So I'm trying to say it in a nice way. Just bring it. in the words of The Rock.
Cool.
All right, so another quick piece of news so we don't harp on any one topic too long. What up, Keely Chow? Welcome in. Guys, you probably haven't heard as much from me this week as you would have liked because we have some family and some out-of-town guests visiting, and it's been a fun, wonderful week. But there's one piece of news that we had to talk about tonight because I have missed a lot of things. I have missed a lot of the big topics of the week, but we had to talk about the James Bond one. And I wanted to bring this up because of you, Script, being a well-versed film nerd like myself, but you've seen even more stuff than I have. You're like the high-class version of if Pete and I combined our viewing history. We've watched a lot of schlock and a lot of quality, but we haven't reached the peaks as you have.
I mean, I'm still in the lower echelon of peaks. Like a friend of mine, Robert Meyer Burnett, is like huge on that stuff. Like he's great. Shame. But yeah, I know my stuff here and there. I've got, I got a lot of DVDs, a lot of VHS, and almost 18 terabytes of film and television shows that I have ported or found raw footage of and reassembled with some of my relatives that are in editing to get back and create my own little custom server of media, so that when I have a kid, I can show them all the cool programming that will shape their minds into well-rounded characters and not Caillou and crazy other modern-day children's cartoons.
Caillou looks like a sick kid, and it makes me uncomfortable.
And so do the writers. I've met them.
So we have Denis Villeneuve, right? How do you pronounce it?
That's pretty close.
I had it right. He is the director of the new James Bond movie, it looks like, guys. So...
Is there going to be spice in this movie?
He's French-Canadian, so probably not.
Could have been Creole. Yeah, so, Dion, welcome back. We're talking about Denis Villeneuve, blah, 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 who is going to direct the next James Bond movie. Now, there have been a lot of talks about directors. Some people were hoping we'd get a classic director to come back like a Martin Campbell. Some people were talking about how they thought it was going to be Guy Ritchie. There's been a million names. As many names as there have been actors to play 007, we've had director names. But now we have confirmation. And I posted on social media earlier that based on his film track record, I'm excited. Now, some people were posting other quotations about something with feminism, and I went, oh, shit, maybe I shouldn't have gotten too excited. But in reality, his filmography speaks very positively towards him directing Bond. Let's do around the table. We'll start with you, Script. What did you think of this news? Do you think it's good?
For Denis with actors, I think that's great. With cinematography, I think he's a little bit too embellishment. He relies on too much more embellishment for a Bond film. I mean, I would love to see a great, sweeping shot of someplace in Paris or someplace in France, like wherever. But I don't want it to be 3 or 4 minutes long. 10 seconds at the most. Like really 2.5 is all you need. But Denis really likes to embellish his long and wides and extreme wide shots. He's done it in Arrival. He's done it in 2049, Blade Runner. He's done it in the Dune films. I hope he can have a more disciplined cinematographer for that, or at least keep in mind audience's time.
Yeah, please.
Because again, even what the couple of the most recent Bond films are a little long in the tooth compared to their hits, if I'm not mistaken. I stopped after Spectre. I couldn't watch anymore from that.
Yeah, the last one is very long, like to the point where you're like, I'm glad he's dead because that means the movie's over.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think if he gets a great cast, he can get the most out of them, and I hope it's fun. I don't care if it's period piece or modern day Bond, as long as it's a very compelling story and we get to see him, schmooze with some beautiful women, kill some bad guys, and make us question why a foreign state like Britain is trying to control the world through the 00 program.
Dion, same to you.
I'm excited. I love Villeneuve. I'm a big fan of his. I definitely agree with the doc. Let's try not to make it 2.5 hours. But I'm a fan of his grandiose lens, so to speak. Especially Blade Runner 2049 is one of my favorite movies in general. So if I could get less of the science fiction aspect, and if he can translate that to the world of Bond, the crazy locations with the great shots and the beautiful scenery, however the hell he chooses to do it, especially if it's some sweet little thing from some country I can't pronounce, looking good in the shot, I'm all for it. I think he definitely has the capability to do a good Bond film, a film that's about being fun and entertaining, and less dramatic, So if there's anyone right now that can pull it off, I think he's a damn good pick, and especially with a good cast of actors, yeah, I think we would get a lot of really good shit with him at the helm. So it makes me feel a hell of a lot better, especially after No Time to Die.
Pete Daddy Dollar, my friend.
Yes, sir. I look at this and Denis, how do you say, is it Villeneuve? How is it?
He's called Denny V.
Denny
V on this channel.
Denny V. All right. I've always had problems with his last name. I like the 2 Dune movies, but yeah, he's a bit self-indulgent with some of the shots, like Script noted earlier. But I like the wide shots. I like those as establishing shots. I am a fan of that. I don't know how he's going to handle Bond. I mean, after the Daniel Craig movies, the only place there's to go is up. I mean, really, I watched all of those, and you guys know I'm a novice Bond fan. I really enjoy the Pierce Brosnan and stuff. I've seen not all of the older ones, but enough to have a good idea who James Bond is, and how I envision him being portrayed. And I mean, I'd like to think that he's capable of that, as long as they get the character, accurate to what he's actually supposed to be, not a whiny little bitch that's simping for a woman half his age, and wonders why he can't pick her up. I mean, I don't know. It's just they can't get worse than what we've got. And I liked Casino Royale. I didn't hate Skyfall, but the rest of them were just, I don't know. I'd like to see a good Bond is what I would like to see.
I'm surprised that we got Denis Villeneuve over Christopher Nolan. Honestly, I thought Nolan was going to be that guy, but Denny V, as we call him here, I think he's a good choice visually outside of the masturbatory shots. Now, James Bond, it's funny. I once got into a discussion, maybe an argument online with somebody who's like, you can't tell any James Bond movie from a particular shot. I went, film's a visual medium. You can, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
It was a long, stupid argument over nothing. But I wouldn't mind seeing James Bond be stylistic on every front. Great score, very stylized cinematography, great directing, and maybe something punchy and fast to kind of break our expectations of long, drawn-out films. Now, I get it. Most James Bond movies are over 2 hours, even some of the classic ones. And that's fine, but Mission Impossible was far too long. Mission Impossible needed to be half hour less. And so I hope that Bond follows that suit. I don't really want to sit... And this might get released on Amazon day one, but I'm Mr. 007 fan. My ass will be at my local theater with my watch and maybe my suit. No, not the suit. Anyway, my point is, I'm excited for Bond, but don't waste my time. Start us off, give us a great, memorable introduction to this new actor that's playing 007, and then just go on. We don't need 20 minutes of reminding the audience who James Bond is, because like Darth Vader or other characters in popular culture, they don't really go away. So we don't really, like Superman, I don't think this is a full origin movie. We don't really need to relearn these characters, and 007's up there. So I just hope this film gets the Casino Royale GoldenEye treatment. We get Bond for a new era, but it's also, reminiscent of that classic era, and then we just have something great and unique. That's what I'm excited for.
It's almost an impossibility with Denny V as director, but I mean, looking at it, like you said, you get these movies with these bloated run times, and they're insisting upon themselves, and it's just self-indulgent filmmaking. It's kind of like a Darren Aronofsky thing. You get that very, very highfalutin style, that elevated style where they're like, well, it doesn't work in every genre. And me being a huge horror fan, like the Marvel movies even got to that where they're like, oh, we got to be 2 hours and 20 minutes. Why not have like a solid 90 to 95 minute runtime? Why not? If you can't, I'm sorry, but if you can't get your shit over in 90 minutes, then maybe you need to trim the fat somewhere. I mean, and I'm not a filmmaker, but having watched as many, movies as I have, I know what I like is in terms of runtime. Now there's some movies obviously you can't do in that runtime, and I'm not suggesting like a sub 90-minute runtime for a James Bond, but like maybe 100 minutes, max, to where it's like the always leave them wanting more.
Well, you're talking about discipline, and that's something that's been lacking in Hollywood. The reason that, I mean, somebody on a stream I was listening to earlier this week was making some sort of claim like runtimes aren't important, and I'm like, no, runtimes exist because there's a certain rhythm to storytelling that benefits that type of runtime. The sweet spot is 90 minutes for a comedy, hour 45 to an hour 55 for an action adventure or romance, and then 2 hours you're pushing it for a drama. And that's it. And if you can nail telling a story in those times for film specifically, then you understand pacing, then you understand the audience's times, and you can build to have a couple minutes over or a half hour over, or do what like Peter Jackson did. He made a dozen short films and a handful of feature films to really understand how narrative flow and pacing works, so that when he did have the opportunity to make Lord of the Rings, he could make them as long as he needed to, because he knew how to keep the rhythm of engagement alive for an audience so that they could actually appreciate those movies. There's a lot of filmmakers out there today that just can't do that. Christopher Nolan is one of them. Like, you can like his visual style, you can like his artistic flair, his attempt to try and make super realism in all of the things that he does, but his movies for most part are very unnecessarily too long. Denis Villeneuve, I'd argue, I know, Dion, you love 2049. I think you could cut a good 30 minutes out of that movie and not lose anything of substance, aside from some pretty great visuals with him trying to recapture what Ridley Scott did in 82. But no, there is something to having a little bit of discipline, having a little bit of something close to the chest. If you are a filmmaker, whether you're indie or professional, and you have a story that has a complicated plot, it's most likely not going to resonate with people, because people only need a simple premise for a plot, but they need complex characters to make it entertaining. And if you ever invert that, you're doing a disservice to your audience. And with Villeneuve, he gets very close to the line to making complicated plots and complicated characters. Primarily with 2049, but because Dune is the adaptation, and even his artistic changes to that with Chani's decision at the end of part 2 is an eyebrow raise. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we get a nice revitalization of Bond. I'm glad Martin Campbell isn't doing it, because I think the poor guy saved Bond twice and he shouldn't have to come back for a third. Give him.
I don't know what he could add anymore.
Yeah, that's the other part too. I don't know what he could add right now. He's been around for a long time, made a lot of great films and a couple of turds, but yeah, I want to see Denis Villeneuve do this. One thing I'm hesitant for is, so Denis, he's from Quebec in Canada. Bond has never actually traveled to Canada for a movie before. I'm worried he'll make him go to Quebec, which I'm not against Quebec. It's just that it's the most European-looking province in all of Canada. Like you go there and you're like, oh, are we still in France or Old England? No, you're in Canada, but a province that is heavily inspired by trying to recreate European French from the 1600s to the 1800s. As beautiful as that would be, it would not be a great representation of that. And I want to see Bond go somewhere more exotic than Canada. I mean, I love the country, but it's like there's only a handful of really cool things you can show in Canada right now. All of our cities are super far apart. Our small towns are beautiful, but it's very rural. So unless it's the most dangerous game and James Bond is being hunted by a bunch of very wealthy gamesmen, I don't think I want to see that type of Bond story.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing smaller scale Bond movies, but I don't want 007 to go to the Great White North as the climax. Like, maybe you can, like, stop over in the airport and, like, pick up some vital information from, like, a Tim Hortons in the airport. That'd be cool. But I don't even know where 007 should go. We've taken him to space. It was garbage. They have done most countries. He's done Hong Kong. He's done big cities in Japan.
Has he been to the Republic of Congo recently?
Baby. It's a law. Who knows? I mean, Bond's done so much now. I think that's why it's so important for the less is more concern of the next Bond film for sure. I definitely think Doc has a lot of great points. My boy been on the way, but he does that shit too. Where it's just long. I really enjoyed both Doom movies, and like I said, I love 2049. But yeah, I get why people are like, those movies are long. You gotta and you gotta watch it 2 or 3 times. That's why I definitely want more of a, hey man, keep your style, but put it in a Bond movie.
Yeah,
and even to your earlier point, despite your beef with Canada, some stories, they gotta at least be 2 hours, and Bond fans are very aware of that. Like you said, a lot of the Bond of the Bond fan base understands that the majority of them are over 2 hours. But for sure, there definitely, I hope, are a lot of understanding bullet points that he gets. This isn't Dune, right? This isn't a science fiction space opera. It's not Blade Runner, where it's a very melodramatic noir, right? Like, this is just James Bond. So yeah, I think I would be very happy if they were sticking to the unwritten time rules for this next James Bond. 2 hours, yeah, pushing it. Let's not start getting to 2.5. Let's not start getting to 2 hours and 35 minutes. You know what I mean? It has to be a story. And to your point about where he's going, he's done so much, but less is more. If they go back to Hong Kong and then he got to skip down to, what used to be French Polynesia, I can dig it, but don't, like you're saying, don't have moments to pad out the runtime and get an extra exotic shot in. Let's keep it short and concise. Less is more, and we just want to see a cool James Bond movie.
As long as they don't do You Only Live Twice, but instead of sending him to Japan, they send him to, like, the Republic of Congo. Because that's just not going to go the way people want.
No.
Is he looking for the lost city of Zinj?
Maybe.
He's gonna run.
He's gonna run.
He's gonna run. He's gonna run into what was Tim Curry's character's name? Mr. Homoka.
Yeah.
He's gonna run into Mr. Homoka. He survived the attack.
Tim Curry could play Blofeld. I think he'd be great nowadays. Just wheel him out and do some shit.
He ain't doing too well. He might not be great for much longer.
No. I mean, for the first time in 5 years, I'm actually interested where James Bond could be going. So sign me up for that game. It looks like James Bond. And we will be back the closer we get to the movie. Anything else you're hoping to see from the next Bond? I don't really have anything off the top of my head I can tell you story-wise. I just want to see unique action, and I want to hear a very classic, big, brassy score.
I want to see a great.
Wavy.
I want to see another great Bond girl. It's been a long time since we've had a really standout Bond girl.
Who would you say the last one was?
I would say Casino Royale is probably, yeah. So 2000.
Yeah, probably Ava Green.
Yeah, she looked really good in that movie.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
It's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Because
Karolinko didn't go anywhere.
Before her, the last great Bond girl was Terry Hatcher, because they had like Denise Richards, and they had what's her name in A World Is Not as well as World Is Not Enough.
Oh, Sophie Marceau.
Yeah. It just didn't feel like Bond level.
And I thought they overdid Halle Berry. Like, I get it that she won an Oscar and she was at the peak of her fame. I didn't like her character's personality. I thought she
No,
was
they
a little
misused
annoying.
her. Like, great choice putting her into a Bond film, but they did not know what to. They put her in the wrong character, I think.
Yeah, I thought Rosamund Pike was much more interesting as Miranda Frost, but just because she was the villain.
Oh, the early 2000s, where all the heroines were like wisecracking. Wow, shit. You know,
Oh yeah, wasn't
Yeah,
the
that's
henchman also there like a transracial because he changed from like an Asian guy to a white guy or a white guy to an Asian
He was
guy?
trying, yeah.
Yeah,
And the other one was trying to.
Yeah, had of his
expensive
time.
acne. Dude, say what you want about that movie, and I've said a lot of crap too. It has one of the gnarliest villain deaths when James Bond shoots that chandelier and it lands right on the dude, and it just a huge puddle of water or blood just shoots up. You're like, oh god, because it just shredded him in every way possible. Ugh. And the fact that
And
you didn't even
listen,
see it.
the sword fight is cool. Like, that movie has a lot wrong with it. But
Yes, it
Halle
does.
Berry's hot, and that sword fight is
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, and that car chase is pretty damn good. When he's upside down and he's going to shoot the missile and uses the ejector seat and flips it over. That's cool.
They did go overboard with the fucking. The car has an anti-mortar system, or it was the sensor machine guns that are shooting the.
Oh, yeah,
mortar down. That was a bit much.
Oh, that movie's way over the top. Like when James Bond outruns a space laser and like a roadster on the ice. I was like, what is this shit? It was just dumb.
Oh, because North Korea wanted to get back to South Korea.
But it had terrible puns too. Time to face reality. Time to face gravity. And he gets sucked
I
into the
love
fucking...
that line though. It's so silly, but time to face gravity. Like that was the one where James was, he had been hanging out with the brothers that work over in the DEA a little bit, because that was like a shit talking line that you have when you're playing ball, you're playing basketball or something. Like, hey, time to face gravity, asshole.
It was a movie, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in the future. We're gonna finish our James Bond movies for Patreon. We're almost to it. We're one movie away. We have to do The World Is Not Enough, and then that. So. Yeah, folks, we're gearing up. Our first Patreon recording day is July the 1st. We have stuff mapped out. It's part of the new directive here on the channel to give you more. So you know what to do. Click on the link in the description or go to patreon.com/worldclassbs. Now, let's check in with our audience, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're appreciating all you do. Shout out to everybody in the chat, especially Overkill161, who has a title, Mr. Cleo versus the Creature from the Dank Lagoon. Sign me up.
I like that.
Is the dank lagoon near like Sativa Lake?
Camp Sativa.
Yeah. And your camp counselor's Indica Flower? Wait, no, she wouldn't be in that kind of movie.
It's Jade
Anyway.
Indica.
You say it's Jaden Smith?
No, Jade Indica, not Jaden Smith.
Oh, Jade Indica. I was like, Jaden Smith should never be in anything.
No, never.
I take that back. I want to see a two-man production of anything with Jaden Smith and Shia LaBeouf. Like, literally anything. Just those two actors in a room playing off of each other.
There you go.
Waiting for Godot. If we need a third man, it should be Joaquin Phoenix. I just want to see, like, the weirdness on screen. It's like you can feel the cringe and the awkwardness in the room.
I could dig it. I would have fun watching that crazy ass shit.
I could tear it down for you, Dion. We'll throw in Giancarlo Esposito. And it's just like, well, shit. He's just a great actor, but how does he fit into this madness?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's perfect. I love it.
There you go, Overkill. That was your pitch for Creature from the Dank Lagoon. It's just those four guys in a room. And Gary Busey watches. Troubles away. I know. There we go. Now I officially ruined it. There's this guy I follow on social media. There, I ruined it. Well, there, we ruined it.
Yep. Love that channel.
Here is your button, Shrubbles away. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Ruddy, thank you very much. He says, 2002, the crazy days when redheads played redheads.
Oh, except for Kirsten Dunst. She's a blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. Redhead.
I always thought it was weird in the Spider-Man movies where the blonde played the redhead and the redhead played a blonde.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Bryce Dallas Howard going blonde. First,
I never thought she'd be one of the hottest women to be in a Spider-Man movie. Like, yeah,
right?
Kirsten Dunst looked fine, but like Bryce Dallas Howard consistently looks fine in the other way. And I'm just like, one, her husband is a lucky dude, and two, she just keeps getting better with age.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I always thought, I was like, damn, I was like, she was smoking in that movie, just smoking hot in that movie. And yeah, she looked better. But then when I didn't mind her as a blonde, but yeah, redhead in Jurassic, was it Jurassic World, the first one of the new trilogy? It was like she's got a wagon too. I'm just like,
yeah, that's what.
Anyway. I'm not bashful. I say it.
She's got the wagon and the headlights, the whole package,
everything, man. It's the
solid chassis too. You know, she can take. I mean, I remember when she was doing promotion for Spider-Man 3, and she was unrecognizable because she was 7.5 months pregnant, and I didn't know what character she was. And I'm like, who's Bryce Dallas Howard? And then I'm like, oh wait a minute, yeah, she's Gwen Stacy. And then they do the before and after. It's like, wow. But then after she had her kid, body bounced back, and you're like, oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. She's the only part of those new Jurassic World movies that I don't mind. Do you think the new one is going to flop or make a bunch of money? I've been hearing a lot of negative press towards it, but I think it's going to make dumb summer movie money.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those where it kind of gets put in with Fast and Furious, where it's like, yeah, it's dumb, but people are going to go see it. They're doing the summer blockbuster thing. It's right before the 4th of July. Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers going to be drunk watching that movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also kids love dinosaurs. They're going to want to see it. And my parents will go see it for the distraction.
That's my son. He loves the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. So I got angry. I was physically angry watching Fallen Kingdom and Dominion because they were so stupid and ridiculous. But this one, like I said, I have the original trilogy, which is I'm fine with. Even Jurassic World, even though it's a hollow shell and a cash grab, it was cool to see the park open in that. That's what I liked, was okay, we get to see the park open and then chaos ensues, which I was fine with. But this one, it looks so, but my boy wants to go see it, so I'll take him to go see it. You know, that's where I'm at with it.
Do you think it does better than the last one?
What did Dominion bring in?
Let me pull it up.
Yeah,
they were all, I think.
Did it make $1 billion?
Yeah, I think that every Jurassic World has crossed $1 billion, but I could be wrong.
I mean, yeah, this is that summer blockbuster type movie, and I mean, as far as the name, you know, and franchise recognition with the audience, like you said, people are just going to go see it because it's dumb fun at this point. So, yeah, they're not. It's not.
Yep. Dominion made 1.004 billion, and Fallen Kingdom made 1.3. So
yeah, they're all. Yeah, it's talk about a trilogy knockout.
Yeah, even the first Jurassic World made 1.6 worldwide. So yeah, there's a high probability that Rebirth could cross $1 billion as well.
Hell, the second one's the most profitable because World cost $215 to make, but made 1.6. The other one cost $170 and brought in. You know, so it's really, whatever. I'm bad at math. Anyway, we gotta keep going on. Just Joe 96 says, "R.I.P. to Spider-Man 2002 actor Jack Betts. You're out, Norman, the man responsible for the Green Goblin line. Out, am I?" And then gets vaporized. Is that the guy with the mustache?
Yeah, he's the guy with the mustache who he looked like he could have been J. Jonah Jameson also, but yeah, he passed away just recently, actually.
That is a well cast film. A lot of people you know, a lot of people you don't know, but it works.
He was also the guy who bid on Poison Ivy in Batman Forever.
Oh,
like $500,000, I think, is the number he did. Yeah.
Is Uma Thurman worth that much these days?
The Wall comes for them all.
Well, and it's not even for The Wall. It's just name recognition. She's been kind of, she's not been in a lot of big tentpole films. She's kind of in the background recently. So you could probably get her for $800,000 for a feature film.
What was the last big movie she was in?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's been years
My
since
superhero ex-girlfriend? I don't know.
Oh my God.
God, that's one of the
That's a
Ivan
long
Reitman's
time ago.
last
Yeah,
movies that he
sure.
directed too.
Holy hell, that was forever ago.
Oh, I was just joking because I thought it was after Kill Bill. Like I couldn't think. Of
No, it
movie she's
is.
in.
I'm pretty sure it is. I can't.
Okay, here's something that's weird. She was in a movie recently called Oh Canada.
Oh.
And I know what this one is about. It's a Richard Gere movie. It's based off of a real story about a guy who fled to Canada to avoid serving in Vietnam, and then he's sharing a story about his life. But it ends up you question whether it's a real story or if it's just a lie to try and make him look like a hero. But yeah, she was in that. It came out last year. But she's been doing a lot of television recently.
Dang.
Yeah.
We had another super chat come in about Jurassic World. I don't like how the dinosaurs looks with that bump. I assume you mean this one that looks like a xenomorph and a dinosaur had a baby? Or that's like a dinosaur with a pompadour? I don't know.
Dinosaur with an ingrown pimple.
There we go. Dr. Pimple Popper is the villain of this, or the hero of this story, depending on how you look at the dinosaurs.
And she's still cute. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm just waiting for Jurassic Park to have a crossover with, like... I'm trying to think, like, what a good act... Like, and I don't mean, like, a sarcastic one, like, oh, Jurassic Park teams up with Lethal Weapon. I'm really too old for this shit. Something terrible like that. I'm talking, like, what could be cool to see that, like, people fight dinosaurs, essentially, like...
Well, Jurassic World, the Jurassic Park series, is leading to the inevitable live-action remake of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. It's going to happen.
So what you're telling me is Fast and Furious is the crossover you're
Essentially,
pining.
yes. Dom is going to be looking for fuel and family.
Oh my God, that's the fucking poster right there, looking for fuel and family. Fast X World or whatever it's
I'm
called.
going for the Jurassic Park Predators crossover.
That would be pretty cool, too.
What if an alien xenomorph impregnated a T-Rex somehow? Like, what would that be?
Well, the xenomorph wouldn't have the reach to grab you, so you'd be okay there.
That's true. But it would be giant.
But it would be giant, right?
Let's see. The folks in the chat, we got Jurassic Park versus Rambo, Fast and the Jurassic. I just wanted to share this one. Weekend at Mr. Cleo's. We should do a really fucked up version of Weekend at Bernie's where you think it's like a fun Weekend at Bernie's-esque, like we're moving this body around, but it's really like a dude who's had a mental break and he's got a corpse. Like, was that Ryan Reynolds movie where you think it's all fun and lighthearted? Hey, I want to get shit out there and get it made, man. Tell me a hard-nosed Weekend at Bernie's reboot wouldn't get people interested. It's like, we sold it at CinemaCon. Dude, you're going to make that shit. You're going to be the new Bernie Lomax. You're like, King Kong ain't got shit on me. You have a heart attack, or so it seems. And this fun wiseacre guy, Kendo, carries you around. And here
He just can't let me go.
See,
yeah, it's a...
That's pretty funny, but about 10 years ago, one of my good friends was dating a makeup artist, and we ended up getting a mannequin that looked hyper real like a person, and we pulled a real life Weekend at Bernie's as a joke to see if people would actually like wonder if we had a dead person with us. Nobody paid attention to us in Santa Monica. We're walking around with a dummy that looks like a real person with sunglasses, and we're making it look like he's walking on his own with this elaborate, like, three-legged race setup. And not a single person even paid attention to see what's going on. We went to the hotel. We went to the pool. We did all the Weekend at Bernie's stuff, gags there to try and fool people. We were able to order a lot of, like, 3 drinks and 3 meals and stuff, and they brought him over without any question. And he would never eat, of course, because it's a mannequin. But it looked like a real thing. And when we showed pictures to people and stuff, they're like, oh, who's your friend? There's like, it's not. It's our buddy girlfriend just made this really very hyper-realistic looking mannequin face over and yeah, it was fun for us, but it was disappointing because nobody cared. Like, that's when, you learn that people in California just don't.
Damn, Collateral was right.
Anything. Yeah.
Dude, the next level of prank is to get it on an airplane. Like, get it a fake passport.
Yeah, have him go through the scanner.
Yeah.
Sir, by yourself. Sir, by yourself.
And you put it up and it just falls up.
It just falls out. Oh my god! Yeah, he had a stroke recently.
Yeah, the TSA is like, let him. Yeah, bring him in a wheelchair.
See,
Like,
we
"Can
should
you
have done it in
stand?"
Colorado. I bet if we did that joke in Colorado, people would have actually like rose an eyebrow or called the police or something.
Now they were all too busy being high on that John Denver air.
Rocky
Oh,
Mountain
Dion.
High.
Yeah, we got up there to a wedding, and it definitely felt different up in Boulder, not Bowler.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Keely Chow, I agree. We definitely need a Stealing Solo movie. So, folks, when part 2 comes out, let's make that a bigger success than the first 2 releases put together and get some eyes on this project. You think it's slowing down? I'm ramping it up. I have my Dion has seen it, and I have a house guest here that's seen it too, folks. I got some new colored pages from the book, so it's looking good. Script, I'll share one with you later. You too, Pete. Ooh. But yeah, that book is in production. It's almost halfway there, like done. So be on the lookout, folks. We're going to turn it into a movie. So let's see. Are we all caught up with the super chats? We are not. Wait, there we are. We are caught up. So thank you to everybody who's sending them in. Keep sending them in, folks. Keeps WCBS rolling. Keeps the lights on. But we have more than just that for you tonight. So, ETEP, pick a number between 1 and 69, and we're going to press a button.
54.
Oh, no.
R.I.P. John Hurt.
R.I.P. John Hurt. How the hell did they get you in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
I mean, it is Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg and Harrison Ford are very tantalizing opportunities.
Very
Harrison Ford threatened to crash his plane into him if he wasn't in the movie.
Hey, he rescued someone who was stranded one time.
I'll crash my plane into you if you're not in this movie.
Get the fuck off my plane.
What do you do? Get the fuck out of here.
But you
Nobody
invited me
told
on here. You saved me from the woods, Harrison. Kick them out.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Maybe I should rewrite Stealing Solo 2 to where it's a figment of his imagination, like all of his characters and all of his success. He's just some old cranky dude, like freebasing in a fucking carpenter shop, and it's all a dream.
He's been smelling some of the shellac fumes, and it's all just imagination.
It's still 1974.
It's a fever dream right before his plane crashes.
No, you still have to keep it 2025, but he's still working on the door frame at George Lucas's house.
Yep.
And Kurt Russell actually got the role of Han Solo. It'd be some weird Hollywood meta shit that's like 30 years too late. People are like, oh, I've never heard of these movies. Anybody that was alive for all this shit loves it. It's like 5 people.
Yeah, you're 35 to 70 will totally love it. Fortunately, they have money, so they'll buy.
We'll even push for home video. They'll be like, oh, shit, I can own this one? Yeah, it's like, it's not coming to streaming. It's going to be there. Like, we're keeping a generation of people out of our fan base by not going to Netflix. I mean, it would fucking work if you had the money to put behind it.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
We could even start selling the soundtracks on CD and cassette.
I mean,
but anyway, folks, we're not going to talk about this too long because I don't think we all care. But I just wanted to have a quick I told you so moment. So it looks like the Rey movie has been put on hold again. It's been 3 years since they first announced it, or 2 years. And a couple of days ago, it was put on hold. So I'm just going to be the obvious guy to say nobody wants this piece of crap. And maybe this is the universe's way of preventing it from happening?
Look, if Daisy Ridley and her 2 sisters want to film a movie so badly, I have a studio. We have a casting
that's a basement.
Couch. I have lighting rigs. I have cameras. We can film a movie, and there will be a lightsaber involved. It's fine. We can film this movie, all 3 of them. And I want to thank their father for creating such genetically fucking, good genes in that family. But nobody wants this movie. Who the hell cares? It's like I feel like wait a second. Can I do it? I don't have the background anymore, and I don't have my green screen. But greetings. Guess what's not happening again? I mean, come on. Like, really? This isn't. Nobody cares. It's like every year, every couple years, they shake that stick at us. They're like, we're still gonna give Ryan Johnson a trilogy. We're like, okay, we've been hearing that for 8 years, but go on. You know, and it's just this is so like Star Wars is dead. It's dead. My God. It's like that Simpsons meme. Stop, he's already dead. And they're still like just beating the corpse against the ground. The flies gather and the maggots are falling off of it. Like, well, Bolt of Lightning's not going to reincarnate this thing. It's not Jason Voorhees.
Or Carrie Fisher. No, it's just that they announced this shit. Like, I'm reading the chat. People are like, they shouldn't release stuff too early. They shouldn't announce stuff too early. I agree. But it's like this specific company, Lucasfilm, keeps doing it over and over again. And I think it's hilarious. Because you're going to get, like... You're going to get, like, a Star Wars cartoon featuring Jar Jar Binks and Boss Nass before you're going to get this movie. Which, I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind watching, like, a really fucked up, dark Boss Nass beats up Jar Jar cartoon. That could be kind of funny.
I mean, yeah. Listen, I mean, to be fair, yeah, movies get caught in pre-production hell all the time. But, you know, if that's the case, oh my gosh, maybe, just maybe, the sequels, you know, didn't do what they wanted to do. Because if it did, then they would have zero problem giving more of the character and greenlighting the movie for that character that people apparently love, according to its hardcore fan base. But it doesn't seem that's the case. And you know, hey, you told them so. And it's hilarious because again, you know, it's the two-faced talk. You know, this is a great character, and real fans love her. And Then why is it so hard to get this movie made? You know, you can't blame it on the fan base that don't like it. I mean, because if it's just a vocal minority, then you make it anyway, and it makes $1 billion, right? Rian Johnson, it wasn't his fault, right? Everybody loves The Last Jedi, right? She's on the same level as the Skywalkers, right? If that's all true, why is it so hard to get this movie made?
I don't know.
And
I'm happy. I'm happy that it's not getting made, Dion.
I know.
I wonder what we'll get first. Will we get the Batman Part 2 from Matt Reeves or a Rey movie? Or a Star Wars movie?
Those are two snails trying to crawl across the finish line, and you know when they're frozen to the ground. I think
you're right.
I'm gonna go with the Batman 2 will actually get made one day, and we will never see this Rey movie because nobody watch this Rey movie.
Nobody's defending the sequel. You remember how ardently these weirdos defended the sequel trilogy up till like what? Probably about 2021. That's gone. There are no. I mean, probably even before that. You know, I've just tried to memory hole most of that shit. You know, because you can only be called an incel for not liking a bad movie so many times before you just get oblivious to it. But I mean, seriously, like nobody's defending these movies anymore. Even the media acknowledges they weren't good. And the only thing, and I'll say this to the death of me on The Last Jedi, god awful movie, totally horrendous character development, if you can even call it that, bad writing, a visually stunning movie though. The visuals, your backgrounds, it was beautifully shot, but it was just a terrible movie. Like that's the only good thing I can say about it are the visuals were fantastic in that movie. But no, everything else was just shit. It was a pretty package with shit wrapped inside of it. I mean, yeah, the Batman. I thought the Batman 2 didn't that get pushed back or something like that?
They haven't finished the script yet, and it's been pushed back 4 times.
Okay, and James Gunn just came out and said, "Let Matt Reeves do his thing. This is how he works." Right? He made a comment, I believe.
Well, he didn't outright say it, but he was essentially saying, "I'm not canceling the Batman 2. I'm not saying that I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
That's right. He's not making it official, and I think he's not going to make it official because currently Matt Reeves is going through some health problems right now, so it wouldn't look good, especially considering this new regime of Warner Brothers doesn't want to get rid of a director that's going through a personal crisis within their family, like they did about a decade ago, and enabled a whole group of people to even get meaner than they already were. But yeah, I can speculate with great certainty that we probably won't be seeing the Batman Part 2 for a very long time, if at all. And Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash, will most likely not be directing the Batman Brave and the Bold or the official DCU version of Batman.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Me too. I like Andy Muschietti as a director. He did okay with It franchise, but he did his best he could with the turd that was The Flash, which was shooting for almost a decade. Slowest movie to be made about the fastest man alive. But yeah.
Good. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I am, I'm one of the guys in the camp of, right now, James Gunn adjacent, who knows? I think they got a lot of time before the Flash can cool off. I'm cool. It got kind of run over. Yeah, I got Nicolas Cage Superman fighting a giant spider out of it, but
Was it worth it?
A lot of inside jokes there in that movie.
Yeah. Well, wasn't the giant metal spider supposed to be in like Superman Flyby?
Superman Lives, actually. Yeah. Superman Lives. Here's the other part too. They get the wrong Jay Garrick. The Jay Garrick that they use in the flashback of the other universe is from the Flash television series, but that Jay Garrick is not Jay Garrick. That's Hunter Zolomon Zoom pretending to be Jay Garrick to basically defeat the Flash. So even the people that were making the movie didn't get the right one, because the Jay Garrick of that universe is played by John Wesley Shipp, who is also the Flash in 1990. It's a whole mess of craziness and stunt casting, but yeah. The Flash itself, as a movie narratively, it was horrible. The only reason I know that people like it is that scene where Flash talks to his mom in the grocery store. A lot of filmmakers that I know really like that scene on its own.
That's a cool scene. Like, I love my mom, so it'd be something happened to her, it'd be great to go back and see her. But the whole movie just, my God, I forgot I even saw that. And I think it's one of those situations where it's going to take, like, Dion, you'll be a grandpa before there's a new Flash movie that's a hit. Like, I'd stand by that statement. You will be a grandpa before there is a Flash movie that crosses $1 billion.
I definitely disagree with that. And even as someone who's, in the Dead Mom Club, I like that scene a lot too. You know what I'm saying? But it's me. I'm a big believer in if it's good, if it's actually good, then it's going to make money, especially we'll see once Superman comes out. But, it's very possible to make a good Flash movie, especially the things that were wrong with all the Flash projects that we've seen attempted. The problem was never the Flash. It was always studios cutting corners or not wanting to stick with the price tag or the actor being in that job, so it never was an issue with people not liking the Flash. It's just, he's the fastest man alive. Sometimes he gets bad luck too. You know what I mean? His mom's dead.
Heck, I mean, even the original Flash series in the 90s, it did great on ratings, but it was just too expensive to make.
Yep.
And that's the only reason it was
canceled. It was like $500,000 an episode or something crazy like that.
Pushing minimum $500,000, pushing $1 million an episode, just because they were shooting it like a feature film, because that was the only way they could get the special effects to sync properly on camera for them. They couldn't do it TV side. 90s. Yeah, and this was in the 90s. And also they had Mark Hamill as the Trickster for 2 episodes, which was pretty cool. And also Cassidy, what's his name? Former Partridge Family guy was Mirror Master. David Cassidy. Was it David Cassidy? Yeah, it was David Cassidy.
Or Sean Cassidy.
Sean Cassidy.
No, wait.
I can't remember. I just know his last name's Cassidy. I never watched the Partridge
Sorry,
Family.
one of them's an X-Men character.
Yeah.
And I think Sean Cassidy is also Banshee. Shit.
I think you're right.
I watched a couple YouTube shorts
Am I
about
thinking,
X-Men.
is it
and now I'm an
Leaf?
expert.
Not Leaf Cast. No.
That's Leaf Garrison or Erickson. They're both.
I don't know.
The chat. There's somebody in the chat that's like, "How do you not know this '70s pop culture?"
Right.
I'm sorry.
I didn't watch the Partridge Family. I barely watched the Brady Bunch. I was watching Columbo and Kojak.
I wasn't even
like
born then.
So your mom
Yeah,
was
me
watching
neither.
Columbo and Kojak, and your little dozy ass was sitting there watching it. She eventually let you watch it too. I know how that shit works. I know. I was there too. Kojak was awesome.
Kojak is. Who loves you, baby?
I was gonna say,
Who loves you, baby?
I make that reference all the time. Like I'll do the Telly Savalas with the sunglasses and all that.
Mhm.
And it's you have to be a certain age to get that reference. And it's like none of my students will ever understand that, but the other teachers get it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, at least somebody gets it. I'm not a total boomer.
No.
Close.
No. There was nothing of substance to say about the Rey movie. That's all. I wasn't gonna make a video over it, but I wanted to address it on a live stream.
Hey, it's always funny to be, to be reminded, especially over the last 10 years, about, maybe guys, I know you're getting mad. We're just saying maybe she's just not that good of a character. Maybe the movie isn't that good. The last 10 years, we keep getting reminded. The goalposts keep getting moved. So I always enjoy when you bring up a little sequel bit of news, and by news I mean it getting pushed again.
We're all much better people.
Oh, so
Is anyone here following Ironheart? Tried to do a review stream.
Oh.
Yeah, we were
Didn't have
gonna
time.
watch today, but I went down the YouTube rabbit hole. But I so far, at least since it came out, what was it, yesterday or was it today that it came out?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Some people are saying it's not great, but it's not, but that's the few reviews that I've seen.
It's really, I saw a truncated version of the first 3 episodes. Again, family member edits films professionally, and he sent me some stuff. And yeah, Riri Williams is very thin as a character. The actress is a good actress, but she looks about 20 years older than the character she's playing. I think it has more to do with the hairstyle versus like her nose and the shape of her head. I think they're not doing her justice with hair on that. And yeah, there's no real motivation other than she needs money to make her Iron Man suit better. And I that's not compelling to me. I'm not interested in that. I would like it if she's like, I'm making an Iron Man suit because I want to protect the people like my friend and stepdad who got shot in a drive-by shooting. But that's not mentioned. Even though it's like they're talking around it, I would rather they just put it front and center and be like, I wish I could have done something to save my friend and stepfather. And that's why I'm building the suit. And if I can make it great and I can make it cheap, everybody could have one. And then you got like the Syndrome from the Incredibles subplot going on there, which can be a lot of fun.
Everybody's super, no one is.
Yeah, everybody's super known as, but it could also lead into like an Armor War type of thing because that's kind of still on the back burner. We don't know what's going on with that, with Don Cheadle and that type of thing. So give it a better flow. Yeah. And I'm actually really unfamiliar with the Hood because I don't think I've read more than like 2 comics that had him in there as a character. Because I can't remember which comics I even read him in because I probably was reading like the complete timeline of a various character and he showed up in one of them. Maybe it was like She-Hulk or
When you said the Hood, the first thing I thought was Red Hood, and I was like, wait, that's a different company entirely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's DC.
Yeah, Superior. But script, I wanted to read a couple more while we still have you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
This is from Xavier to God that says, would love to see Jeff and Dion review the first 3 episodes of Ironheart where she becomes a criminal in a Chicago hood because she's too good for a regular job. Is that really the premise?
Yes. Well, she doesn't realize she's a criminal until after they do their first heist.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense.
I was watching Drinker's review of it, and I remember somebody sent me the first trailer when they dropped it on YouTube, and I'm like, I just watched it just sitting there like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is the show. Like, and her character was insufferable in Wakanda Forever. Which
I didn't like her.
No, she was just insufferable in that too. Like, she's talking shit to Michonne. I can't think of her name in the movie, but she was one of the Dora Milaje, and yeah, she was like talking shit to her. Like, what did she call her? Like, she said something about her ashy bald head or some shit like that. I'm like, man, she would fuck you up. Why are you letting her talk shit? This little girl talk shit to you, like, and just the character. She's just, I don't know, like from her introduction in the comics to, and I mean, you are why are we? I don't know.
I will say this: this show. What frightens me about this show is that the writers don't know the definition of plagiarism, because she's kicked out of MIT for plagiarism. But what she's actually doing is she's completing projects for other students and selling them to them so she can fund her suit. She's not plagiarizing anything. Those students are. They're using someone else's work and passing it off as their own. She would be in trouble for offering that as a service, but she would not be expelled for on the grounds of plagiarism for that.
So what you're saying is the writers understand their material on this series, as well as the She-Hulk writers understood how to do a legal comedy drama.
Sadly, yes, that would be accurate.
Oof.
Okay, maybe I will check this out. I don't like to try to copy other people's stuff, but I wanted to talk about this show because, I don't know, it's the summertime and I want to feel some pain. Our friend Enrique Vasquez says, if a Rey movie gets made, I want her to jump over look-alike Starkiller planet. Detention button, please. I want to see her on a Starkiller-looking planet that gets destroyed by anyone. Like the random robot from the Sandcrawler in the first movie that turns to look at C-3PO. He wants revenge.
Or a Gonk
That's
droid. Gonk droids would be great. Has
Gonk
no arms,
strikes
just drops
back.
it.
Gonk. Love that droid.
Gonk the Revenge.
Let's press the button for Enrique that he requested. We've all been to school. Some of us have done well, and some of us ended up in detention. And luckily on WCBS, we have one of those buttons right here.
You had enough yet?
No.
That's another one.
So?
You just say the word, I'll keep going.
Go.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Mo.
Your mother was a...
Ho.
He was a famous clown.
Bobo.
Mitch, cut it out.
Damn.
That's
You
a
need
good
to
movie.
get a Stephen Root end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer detention button, because he's handing out detention to dead students.
I need to. I love Stephen Root.
Sorry.
Bill
had-
Dotrieve. Both of them.
Go get a little gonk.
There it is.
Little
The Gonk
gonk.
droid.
Gonk.
Is that an original?
Yeah. Yeah, his antennas broke off, but yeah. There he is in all his splendor and glory. Gonk. I went back and grabbed him off the shelf, and it was like Indiana Jones with the sandbag and the beginning. I'm trying not to knock any of the figures over. Because when that happens, they'll sit there for a month or two. Like my G.I. Joes got knocked over a while ago, and I'm like, I'm not picking you some bitches up. Like, I was drunk when I knocked you over. You're going to sit there for a while.
Dude, I had the same thing with my Spider-Man section.
Son of a bitch.
That shit fell down, and I finally picked it up, and, well, now it looks decent.
I did a T-Pain and Jamie Foxx. I was blaming on the alcohol.
That was a good song.
It is.
Great
It
song.
still is. I was listening. I went to SmackDown Friday night, and I had my two riders in the truck, because there were 7 of us that went. We ended up taking 2 vehicles. I had there was a bunch of us from the wrestling company, and Maddie and Ryan rode with me, and Maddie's dating Ryan now, and she made him sit in the back seat. So she was sitting up front with me, so I just gave her the passcode to my phone, and I'm like, you DJ. And that was one of the songs she put on, because we were doing car karaoke on the way home from Grand Rapids. And yeah, that was fun. That was fun. SmackDown was good Friday night. We really had a good time at the show.
I watched it. I was out of town watching it in the Holiday Inn.
Cena's promo, a nice redo of the pipe bomb. Was like, ooh, he's like, I can do it, but I'll do it better, and I'm gonna make you sell for like 11 minutes while you're laying 4 feet from me. You know, like that was the thing. Like, Cena had to sell, and Punk was sitting up way up on the ramp, you know, and Cena was in the ring and the table back then. It was like 2011 we did the pipe bomb, and now it's like he's right there in the middle of the Slim Jim table, broken in half, and he's got to like sell that whole time. I'm like, that's kind of funny, because he's 4 feet away from him. He's not even trying to like crawl to him or make any effort. He's just like got to basically like dead sell and just kind of like go do the Paul Rubens from Buffy, like ooh,
And he kicks it.
yeah, you know, like a couple times. But no, it was a good promo, man. I'm still like I don't like never mind. I'm stopping. I'm gonna stop because I'll go off on a tangent about wrestling. I'm done.
Folks, we're going to play in a minute. We're going to talk about the news that broke. We talked about it weeks ago. I guess technically we were there before it was official, about Roman Reigns being cast as Akuma in Street Fighter. And so I went ahead and got us some other wrestling voices to play other Street Fighter characters. But, folks, Script has to go in a minute. So is there anything else, Script, you'd like to say, or anything else the audience wants to say to Script? Send in your messages now. Script, hopefully we get to see you on Tuesday, man. Because I know this week was a little messed up, but we got it in. We got a good stream in.
Oh yeah, no, I'm always happy to be able to. I'm always happy when my schedule works out that I'm able to hang out with you guys on any show. Hang out with anybody really. I like this as a different type of social atmosphere that I really appreciate because number one, you can't smell me and I can't smell you, so that's a bonus. But number two, it's always really interesting discussions with all of you gentlemen and everybody out there in the chat. Now, I believe Clone Geek out there said something about he's coming to Canada and he wants to know a good comic book store. I'll tell you one right now. There's a classic one in Toronto called the Silver Snail. It used to be on John Street, but it's actually moved very far west into Queen Street West Village. It's on the south side. Just south of Trinity Bellwoods Park, I think before around Tecumseh or Niagara, in between that area there. It's a small shop, but it's a legendary shop. It's known throughout Ontario and Canada as like the place to go to get comic books. So you can go check that out. I was in there recently. I will say they have a sizable amount of good back issues, but they have a lot of current day stuff just because that's actually what sells from that store. So you'll probably find some good hidden gems there, but the staff is always great. And I like, I pop in there every once in a while when I'm in the downtown area. So Clone Geek, I hope that helps you out. Just Google Silver Snail Toronto and you should be able to find it. No harm, no foul out there.
Bring me back some maple syrup there, Clone Geek. We're close enough, so I want some good stuff. None of that cheap Mrs. Butterworth and Jemima knockoff.
I want the uncut stuff.
We have maple syrup baked beans up here, which are absolutely delicious.
That actually sounds good.
Yeah, I want some of that right now.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for having me on tonight. It's always a pleasure, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend if I don't see you till then.
Thanks for coming, Doc, man. Always a pleasure, my brother.
Thanks, Dion. Pete, great talking with you again. Reach out to me if you're ever free. I'll do the same, too. We'll chat.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
See you, man.
Thank you, Doc.
So, Dion, to get us back in the zone, give us a number between 1 and 69.
Give me a 69, baby.
We never pressed that one, so there you go. Now, guys, we have joked, we have bullshitted, both world class and not, about casting choices. We've all had dream casting, we've all had nightmare casting, and at the end of the day, we've all had, well, responses to these castings. So, Roman Reigns, the wrestler known for suffering succotash, blue contacts, and a really long title reign, has been officially cast as Akuma in the upcoming Street Fighter film, which, I don't know about you, but after the first one from 1994, I've been counting down the days to get to Street Fighter, the sequel. But it's been 31 years. It'll be a couple more years until this film comes out. And I thought it would be fun, through the power of AI, to cast some wrestlers in iconic Street Fighter roles. And folks in the chat, you can play along at home too, and maybe we'll feed some of these into the prompt machine, and we'll see what we get. So you guys ready to see a couple wrestlers as Street Fighter characters?
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's start off with a very... Well, I asked it to do this one. I didn't like it, but I don't like the wrestler that much either. So, right here, we have John Cena as Blanca. I don't know. Too much hair. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that one works too well.
No, me neither.
I like how they stayed with the jorts, though.
Yeah, well, that's why I picked him to play Blanca, because you're like, well, who else wears jorts? Nobody. Yeah. So, here's a weird one, too. I don't even think it looks great, but we're going to build up to a great one. We have CM Punk as Guile, the movie version of Guile. So he's going to kick Bison's ass. That's kind of creepy looking. Because 1 doesn't look like CM Punk, and 2 doesn't look like Guile.
No. That's fucking
That would
weird.
be hilarious. If it was a comedy, I dig it.
Well, it's not. So let's move on. Now, here is a good one. Rhea Ripley as Chun-Li. I thought this one turned out like a win. So let's share this right here. Here we are. There's Rhea Ripley as Chun-Li.
She's got the thighs for it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
this is a new
hilarious.
addition up top. But what do you think of her? Does that look better than the other ones?
I mean, Chun-Li being a white Australian, I mean, in terms of my response, it makes me feel warm in my tenders for sure. But, you know, I mean, probably not the best Chun-Li choice.
No.
No, not at all. But ChatGPT doesn't understand who half of these women are, so I had to pick one that actually looked like the lady. Like Asuka is who? Now here you go. Let's take it old school. Since wrestling is a celebration of current and historical stuff, how about Hulk Hogan as Blanca?
Brother.
That'll work for me, brother.
And then finally, of these, before we ask the audience some of their casting choices, my personal favorite, the Celtic warrior, Sheamus, who was trying to be the big Russian Zangief, but for some reason ChatGPT still thought his legs were Blanca.
Is he not done hulking out yet?
He's unhulking.
He's
Like, this is how he goes.
Right.
I swear I'm only 50% Hulk.
Yeah,
It's from the waist down, baby.
From the waist down.
he'll do the job, brother. Yeah, I don't think Roman Reigns is a bad person to cast from a looking standpoint, but if he's going to act, I don't think that's going to turn out too well.
I mean,
Rakuma.
yeah, I mean, don't have him speak. You know what I mean? Like, unless he's, you know, got very limited and pointed lines, you know, his clip in Hobbs and Shaw wasn't great.
I still need to watch that. Is it worth my time, Dion?
I think it is. It is. It's definitely a dumb, fun movie, and you know, it's probably the last movie of The Rock where it wasn't taking itself so serious. I think that's where the turn happened, where he got done with Hobbs and Shaw, and he was like, "This means I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be serious the whole time now." Because it actually just looks like him and Statham are having fun making the movie.
I miss Fun Rock.
I do too, man. I do too. Come back.
Now it's
to
all
us
about
tonight.
Netflix CEOs and bullshit.
And fucking up WrestleMania.
Oh God, don't. Yeah, that ego of his. Yeah, well, never mind. The final boss doesn't have anything left to do. He's just gonna go home. Oh, because you didn't get your fucking way. Because you didn't get your way, you're gonna go home.
I get being mad too, but listen, if John Cena can turn heel, so can I. Pay the man, like, you know. I get you don't want to pay as much, you know, especially with the stuff that is rolling down from Vince. But especially right now, pay the man. The later half was a hell of a lot better than the first half, than the middle part, and you know, in terms of TKO, fucking, you know, turning it into what it's become in terms of commercially. Pay the man. I'm cool with Roman being like, no, we had a deal. Pay me.
Yep.
What's the monologue at the end of Killing Him Softly? You know, America's a business.
Yep.
Fucking pay.
The whole thing with The Rock in that now with TKO is there's Triple H and him still have beef. You know those two still have beef. And that's what a lot of this boils down to. The problems creatively is a big dick measuring contest between Paul and Dwayne. It's not Hunter and Rock anymore. It's Paul and Dwayne. And That's the problem, and it's affecting the product. Is they have their good nights. I will say, like I said, because I thoroughly enjoyed SmackDown, and not just because I was there, but it was a good show. It was a good show, and it's very rare that I sit through a full show anymore. Like, since I stopped covering it every week on the channel, I don't watch them anymore. My kid watches them, and I'll watch highlights because it's just been so boring, and it's like I don't give a shit about half what you're doing because you're neutering guys that shouldn't be neutered, like Braun Breaker. Hey, go be a henchman. I know where the storyline's going. Let's just get on with it. It's a rehash of like the Shield and Evolution. Somebody, Braun's gonna turn on Seth eventually. Yada yada yada. Because Bronson Reed is irrelevant. He's just I liked him at one time, and it's like I still do, but it's like the guy's 38. It's not like he's some young up-and-comer that you put in this position. Hey, kid, we'll give you the rub. He's almost 40. I don't know. I can sit here on my soapbox and rant about how piss-poor job that Paul is doing creatively because of the choices he makes. But, yeah, that's a story for another time.
Pepperidge Farm remembers the last time I cared about wrestling.
I mean, I think the shows have been good so far. I definitely, I would agree that I definitely want to see Braun kind of strike out on his own. But in terms of the Seth thing, with everything going on, we've at least become interested. Now, we don't watch SmackDown. We've been watching Raw semi-regularly the last few months here, especially since WrestleMania. Devin's starting to get into it because we've been watching it. And I'll watch clips of the interesting shit that happened on SmackDown. But also, too, I thought the Grand Rapids show was going to be, for some reason, I thought it was going to be a house show. I forgot it was going to be on TV. So, like, that made me go back and watch the clips of it, But, I've been overall enjoying it. They've been doing a lot of slow bullshit. EO hasn't defended the belt, which is
What are you doing with her? Like, and they're rehashing the Nia Jax and Tiffany storyline with just Nia Jax is by God, it's Refrigerator Jax is chasing Tiffy time now. And rumor is that her and Ludwig Kaiser broke up. Who could have foreseen her becoming such a star and breaking up with her jobber boyfriend? Oh my, I've never seen this play out in the wrestling business before. Like, Mark Merrow and Sable. I'm not saying she's on the same level. Well, let's face it, she's already, much more established. She was in ring. Sable was just, Vince McMahon liked her tits and she had big blonde hair. She looked like Pam Anderson. That's why Vince liked her. Vince definitely had a type back then. And yeah, she fit
You think
the bill.
Sable's still hot? Like, peak Sable is still hot by today's standards? Or do you kind of look at it and go,
no.
No.
I don't say I'm like, she's you can tell that she's had work done for sure. That's for damn sure, especially when she was out there a couple years ago when they teased Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC. She's definitely not as fine as she was back then. She's definitely older, and you can be like, yep, I'd see you got some work done, but you're still for an older lady.
No, I just mean, like, if you look at her from, like, 1999, do you still have the same taste that you did? Like, do you still look at her with those eyes and go, wow, 99 Sable's so hot? Like, I go back and I look at some of the women from wrestling and I go, I was a kid. But then I look at Trish Stratus and go, that's the same. So I was just wondering if you had that with Sable. Because I'm like, 99 we thought Sable was hot.
She was fine. Yeah, definitely tasted shit. I'll say I still do go, especially when they show the clip with the hands on the nips and everything. She's still fine. She's still fine, but yeah, not as fine as I thought she was when I was 10.
I always liked Sunny more than Sable. I did. I was always more of a Sunny fan. But you're talking about the bikini contest she had against Miss Jackie, and I've got to be honest with you. When I saw those two in their bikinis, I always thought Miss Jackie was. Whew, yeah. I had the biggest crush on her. The moment I saw her like in a promote, I was like, oh, and yeah, her in a bikini. It was like, yep, forget about it. When she started pair with Mark Merrow, I'm like, Mark, you really didn't lose out. Other than the fact that I know what Miss Jackie did in some locker rooms because of some guys that I've worked shows with. But yeah, this is back in the day when Anyway, but no, I never, like, I thought, Sable was hot. Obviously, I was like 18, 19 at that point. Blonde hair, big tits. But yeah, as Elizabeth Young says, my girl is China. Especially when she had the jaw done. I like my muscle mommies unapologetically, and China was like,
hey, China was mine too.
Yep.
You know, Jeff, so I get it.
Yeah,
I know you're still mad at her that I met her and you didn't.
I know, man.
Wait,
like she could hold on for a couple more years.
Dion, have you seen the I think she's Australian. She's a bodybuilder and she does like a China cosplay on Instagram.
Yeah. Yep.
China syndrome on it. The first time I saw her, I'm like, oh my God. Like she's like a dead ringer, like damn near.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's scary at times looking at her face, like Jesus, man. But yeah, I thought I was like, I was like, I guarantee you, Dion's seen this girl. I was like, I guarantee you, he's seen her.
Oh yeah.
A man of great culture.
My man.
Pinky out for world-class behavior.
Damn right.
Did I read the Roman Reigns is as good as The Rock at acting super chat?
No.
Oh, I didn't from Xavier to God?
Nope.
Roman is probably as good as acting as The Rock is. Yeah, The Rock isn't Stallone or Schwarzenegger, but he's got... It's a weird thing. I feel so conflicted not loving his movies the way I love the wrestling. But I gotta be honest. I can't go and say, he's the greatest of all time at everything. Like, he put out a song. It was not very good. Rock can't sing.
You talking about the rap, or you talking about the Moana stuff?
Oh, I was talking about Pie with Slick Rick. That was not a good song.
No.
I bought that album to listen to The Rock sing a song. And you know what I did after I heard it once? I put the last CD in and I wanted to hear him just say The Rock says over and over for 3.5 minutes. That's where I, was like, wrestling, greatest of all time in my eyes. Makes me feel like a kid. Acting, The Rock's in this movie, I might watch it. Singing, no.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I might buy like The Rock's greatest hits album if it's just all acoustic covers of like 70s bangers. I might buy that. Or maybe like a rockapella album where it's just him singing without music. I would buy that. Because it would be terrible.
Yeah, you got to own that one for the novelty.
Yeah, like when David Hasselhoff is a better performer, you should just step back. Like if you can't reach that Hasselhoff level, maybe not jump into that foray as a celebrity established for other things.
Yeah,
The Rock will hit.
That the Hoff has.
Who does?
I love David.
Like not even you. And I've seen you sweet talk your way into many a theme park, ride lines. You're like, hey, excuse me, blah blah blah. I'm Dion from World Class Bullshitters. You mind if I get ahead of you? I've seen it. I've seen it work over this weekend actually.
I got my kid with me, man. He's got a breathing problem.
Yeah, he's so excited to be around Dion Green from World Class Bullshitters.
Yeah, man. It's just making his day.
Shrubbles08 says, Mr. Cleo, will the new Superman movie break $1 billion? Also, will John Cena suck even more? Well, folks, you know what we do. We have to shoot a flare into the sky to summon our psychic extraordinaire. Well, folks, while you wait.
Did you see that guy accidentally hit that moose with his car?
No.
Holy shit. Jamie, pull that video up.
It's Mr. Flatnut to you.
All right, folks, let's call our psychic extraordinaire and ask him these questions. Will the new Superman movie break $1 billion, and will John Cena suck even more?
What the thing to bring me back has happened. They called me now. Why? Because it's one truth that we all know. The kids don't lie. Now we see the man of steel who be bomber clocking all over the sky to save the many a white girl. Superman, he's the man. We know what's going to happen because the kids don't lie up in the way now. See what the kids say. Oh, what we have here. Oh, what we have here. We've got the white granite hero, wrapped in red, wrapped tighter than a boom baka. Is gonna make over $1 billion, child. He must be. He's a Libra, Arnie darling. Why? Because the kids wouldn't lie, told Mr. Cleo, and will Cena suck even more. Let me tell you something now. There comes a time in a man's life, his real life, when you put the kids to the side. You put the ganja, you put the Mary Jane down to the side, and you have just yourself. It's you, yourself in the mirror, boom, bakla. What do? Sometimes you have to be the bad guy. The last time is now. The kids said it, and the kids don't lie, my son. Abba mercy.
These have been the wise words of Mr. Cleo. I love when Mr. Cleo gets summoned. Do the thing you need to do and call me now. That's it. There you go, folks. You say Beetlejuice's name 3 times, you know what happens. You got to call Mr. Cleo right now, and you know what happens. Sly C, this is Sly, thank you very much, says, Kenny Omega is in Street Fighter 6 trailer. Perfect for Axel, or Alex. I didn't realize Kenny Omega was in anything outside of AEW. I mean, I think that if Kenny Omega is to be put in a video game, it should be like Final Fantasy. Because all of that like gesture and shit that he does, he looks like an anime Final Fantasy manga style character. Like he thinks he lives in that shit. So I want to see him in that. Like One Winged Angel and V-Trigger, it's like, you know, high stamina buffs. I'm just making this up. I don't know. Thank you though, Alan or Sly. Xavier to God says, more like the final boss, more like the final bitch. I don't know if I could put it that far. I don't think The Rock ruined WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes and John Cena didn't do a great job, but I blame Triple H.
Cody.
Listen, the fact that, you know, you had a great moment at Elimination Chamber. I loved it. That was pro wrestling with the throat thing.
Yeah.
And he kicks him in the nuts. And, you know, I was excited. I was like, holy shit. And that being said, you know, I get it. You know, I will 100% agree that old Paul Triple H Levesque deserves a lot of blame for that. That being said, The Rock knows better. He can say his bullshit because what he said after WrestleMania, you know, you're The Rock, right? Real men smell bullshit. You were bullshitting everybody. And The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson knew better. You have to be at WrestleMania. You don't just get to do that and disappear. And could it be partially Triple H's fault? Absolutely. We all, you know, Triple H can't help himself. That dude inducted himself into the Hall of Fame the first chance that he got. I agree with that. But The Rock knew better. The Rock knew better.
Those have been the wise words of Mr. Dion Green. Xavier to God also has another message. It says, the Royal Rumble shouldn't be in fucking Saudi.
I agree.
Absolutely right. And I think it's funny that CM Punk basically called, or Cena called Punk a hypocrite. He's like, you're not the voice of the voiceless. He's like, you're one of the elites. He goes, you're a capitalist. He goes, yeah, like, remember Punk talking shit to Miz, enjoy that blood-covered Saudi D? Yeah, how's that taste, Punk? Hey, Phil. Oh, yeah, payday, big old pay. Yeah, but he said it when he came back. He's like, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to make friends. So, yeah, you're not a rebel anymore, bud. Like, and I think the way they're treating him, because obviously – and I was listening to Steven Richards say this, so I can't take credit for this, but it makes complete sense. The worst position to be in as a babyface for a heel champion like Cena is to be the first contender, because there's no way you're going over. Like you're gonna do the job for him. And Stevie Richards even said that he's like, some of this is still Hunter getting back at him for 2011 for the stress that he caused the old man. He's like, Hunter might not like the old man or pretend he doesn't like him, whatever, for public appearances in terms of the lawsuit and TKO's standing in that. But this is some retribution. Like, they're going to make Punk, they're going to offer up Punk to Cena as his first challenge. And Stevie Richards said, he goes, I know this because I was that guy multiple times in my career where it's like, hey, you're going to challenge for the belt, and it's like, great, I'm the first one. So I ain't, I'm not obviously going over, So
I was watching that clip right before the show.
So you know what I'm talking about. It's true. This is a receipt. This is a freaking 14-year-old receipt that Punk's getting because he left and came back. And what did Stevie say that the old man Vince would say to him? You're going to get.
Sometimes you got to eat a shit sandwich and learn to like it. That's the full quote. He didn't even do the full quote in that video.
No. And that's what Punk's going to have to do. He's going to, and remember what they said in Walking Dead, when eating shit, it's best to bite, chew, swallow, and repeat. Just get it done. And that's what Punk's got to do. Now he's got to eat shit. He's getting paid, but he's still got to eat shit.
I mean, I think, I don't ever think, even if he had stayed, I don't think now he'd ever be the guy to take the belt off Cena right now. But who knows? But him being back a couple of years ago too, doing a couple of those shows on the network and stuff. They were repairing the fences. Then I definitely, if Vince were still here, that would be the case. But yeah, I think, especially now with them actually wanting to have all these shows, I wouldn't be surprised if Hunter let that shit go. Because especially the way, as bad as things had got before Vince, took his ball and went home and ran off into the sunset. Yeah, I don't see Hunter still this being part of that. I think they just, Hillary's big thing is she thinks that Cena's going to carry the belt to the end of the year, and then that's when Seth's going to cash in. I think they are trying to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My only thing with you saying, you don't think Hunter's being, he would hold that grudge, dude. And I know I'm only in the indies, but you have to appreciate how fucking petty that wrestlers are. I mean, dude, this is worse than a sewing circle full of old ladies, Dion. And I'm not being facetious. Wrestlers are the most petty, insecure, jealous people on earth when it comes to their spot in their in their careers. And so that's why I can see that this is it's petty on Hunter's part. And I can see him doing that. I can, because he's in that position now. He's got all the stroke, or as much as he can for creative anyway. And yeah, Punk's a guy that he can say, well, I can fucking take this. I've been saving this shit. I mean, like I said, I can see it. I can see him being that petty because Triple H is a lunkhead. I mean, he's a lunkhead creatively. I mean, the guy, he's all, and everybody said it about him his whole career. He's great at imitating, but what does he ever come up with? I mean, he's, and that's the same thing can be said about so many other wrestlers, because everybody takes from everybody. If it wasn't for Scott Hall, I wouldn't, I mean, Christ, my gimmick now, I look like a miniature fucking Undertaker out there when I'm in my gear. I mean,
the Mini Taker. I'm calling you that from now on.
Mini Taker. Well, I do the snake eyes spot, do the big boot, the leg drop, and everything. So I mean, everybody takes from everybody. It's just it's the nature of the business. But wrestlers are still petty, and yeah, I can just see that being. And I'm not a CM Punk fan. I'm not. Like I said, from a professional standpoint, I respect the guy's work, because he's been a wrestler for decades and decades, and I respect that. I do, because that's the goal. But yeah, I mean, I just see him. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him anymore. I mean, he's 40. He's a year older than me. He's 46. I mean, but look at the top guys now in WWE. They're all 38 to 45, 46. LA Knight should have been champion 8-9 months ago.
Agreed.
A world champion, not the bullshit U.S. title, you know. But I was going to tell you this about SmackDown, and I forgot because we went off on this tangent, which I love doing this. I love talking about this shit. It's fun breaking this down. Hikuleu, the other Fatu, the big one, the one that's like 6'7". He wrestled a dark match against a local guy from Grand Rapids at SmackDown, and it was fucking guy looks good, man. He's a fucking monster. Not that we need it. You know, I'm fine with them bringing in Samoans that can actually work, unlike Tama Tonga and Tonga Retard that couldn't remember a spot to save his fucking life, didn't know how to throw a work punch. Those two were just, they could wrestle too. That's the thing. I've seen their work in Japan, and when Homeboy was Camacho, he was good. I'm like, what the hell happened to him? Like, how did he completely forget how to work? Like, it's so Hikuleu looked good though. His match was good, and then you got Nikita Lyons and Thea Hale in a speed match. Thea Hale went over, which I'm like, I'll put Thea Hale over any day.
I'll put Nikita Lyons over.
This is the thing. Nikita Lyons is an attraction. Absolutely. Is she fine as fuck? Yeah. But what does she do other than get hurt and wrestle once every 6 months? That's my problem with her. Is like she's injured too much. It's like they signed another woman that's oddly could be her twin.
I've seen her.
I've seen it, and I've seen a movie being made there. But no, it's like they signed. I was like, so if Nikita gets injured, let's have this girl step in so I can still have Nikita Lyons. It's like that's what they're.
She'll
looking
become my
for.
new favorite. Look, Nikita Lyons is not my favorite in the slightest bit. I don't know who is right now. But let's stop talking about butts. Shogun Orta, thank you very much for your super chat. Instead of Dooner Arrival, an exemplar of what Denny can bring it to Bond is I look at Sicario, no 10-minute landscape shots. That was a great movie. That is on my list. Folks, I have this master list I've been working on because I want to do it, maybe monthly, if you guys would watch it along with me. It's on my list will be when I finally watch movies I'm late to the party for, like Dune, or Dune 2, or Blade Runner 2049. Maybe it'll be a Denis Villeneuve, blah, blah, blah. We'll do a review of all of his movies, or at least I'll give you what I think about it, because it could be fun. And then you can tell me what to watch that I'm late to the party on, like 5 years or late.
I keep forgetting
5 years or more.
Sicario.
I want to see it, man. I like that type of action movie. It just, I don't know. It reminded me of a cooler version of Traffic. Remember Traffic?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that damn movie. Michael Douglas.
That was shot here in Cincinnati. Dion, this weekend you were where Traffic was filmed. Doesn't that change everything?
Damn,
No,
man,
it
my
doesn't.
life ain't never gonna be the same. Topher Grace was
King
doing
Kong ain't got shit
heroin.
on you either. I do love how a lot of people in the chat aren't really big fans of CM Punk. Like, outside of my interaction with him being a douche, I just think he's fine. Like, I get the people that love his promos. I get that. But I don't get the, when people are like, oh, another CM Punk classic match. Like, I think the bar gets so lowered for CM Punk matches because people like his attitude and there's nobody like him in that regard. But, he's not Shawn Michaels. He's not The Undertaker. He's not one of these guys that puts on a match where you're just like, wow, that was an actual performance. It's like, oh, that was pretty cool. But, best in the world, I don't know anymore. I think his run since he's returned, last November, has been fine. I'm glad he's back around. He adds star power to a roster that needs it, which is weird because they have so many people on the roster, but they're not megastars like they should be because they have had years of bad booking. And, folks, this rolls into every piece of entertainment news we talk about. It's the obsession with the brand. The brand becomes top priority over the superstar. And it's like, do you really want to go watch, another adjacent subject? It's like, do you really want to go out and watch a movie about the world of something when you could just, get the character you want? Most of the times you don't go to see that. Ballerino didn't make John Wick money. That's what a lot of this feels like. It's like WWE wanted to sell you every part of our brand is 10 out of 10. When in reality, it's like, no, most of your wrestlers are average or their superstar power is below average. They show up on an internet video and that's about it. They're not, going on national TV. You only have a handful of those guys. You need more of that. So do something about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much this. I like CM Punk. But that was 14 years ago. That's why I love the Cena promo so much. It was like, yeah, you did it 14 years ago. Good job. And listen, even then, I wasn't a huge Punk fan I wasn't a huge Punk fan back then, but I did really like his promos. I liked the character. And I liked, obviously the pipe bomb, and then the thing with him and Rock, and him Rock and Cena. I enjoyed that. Them referencing it here lately. I enjoyed it. But the whole best in the world thing, I love it as a nickname. We saw that not be the case in AEW. I was watching a lot less WWE shit, but seeing him, and it was cool to see him cutting promos with MJF and stuff. It was cool.
Yep.
But his wrestling, yeah, there definitely is there's a lower bar in general. So many times on Raw do you see the crowd be like, "This is awesome," and it's like a good match, but it's not a "This is awesome" chant type stuff. And they'll have good main events on. And Punk has had good matches. He's had a few bangers since he's been back. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre carried him to those matches because Drew McIntyre is probably one of the best workers they have in the company. And putting Punk over on him in that feud and then putting Priest over him on that, I was just like, what are you doing? This guy had a career year and you fucking buried him. But again, I look at that. Drew was one of Vince's guys. He came back, reinvented himself, had a fantastic year, and then he's gone. He's buried. And now he's talking about not coming back for, X amount of time. He's a little banged up. He needs some time off. It's like, dude, I don't think he's ever going to get justice there. I really don't.
Well, Drew's been great. I think Punk and Drew have chemistry. I think
they do.
For sure.
They do have chemistry.
I think
absolutely.
For sure that Drew definitely was the better half of that match. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's had him and when they had he and Seth had the cage match on Raw. Punk was good. And listen, I think that Drew honestly was that dude. I like that Damian Priest went over. I like that Damian Priest won a world championship. I think that Drew McIntyre is the dude that you go to when you need someone to get a really good push. And he's been doing fantastic. I enjoy Drew's work. I'm glad that he's taking time for sure because obviously, like you said, he is older. But I think Drew's been doing great. One reason that Punk is back and so liked now is because of Drew McIntyre. And hey, I was happy when Drew won the belt at 40, but I think that was a great moment to have him get screwed over by to keep that rivalry going. I think it's a lot more of Drew doing the job and less of him not being treated right. He definitely is doing good shit. He's doing great shit.
He is. And he just signed a new contract too. He signed like a 5-year deal. He's 38. So, he's under contract for 5 years, and they said that'll take him to around, 42, 43 years old. So I'd be interested to see if they hold on to him and he sticks with it the whole time. But I mean, what's the option? Japan, TNA, where you're going to have to work a shoot job, unless you're good with your money you made from the Fed, because TNA, I mean, they're not making a killing. I mean, your top guys are probably doing all right, but your lower card guys make, they're not making much. So AEW is the other option where, Tony Khan will throw a bag at you, but how are you going to be booked? That's the caveat over there because you're a big guy going into AEW. It's like, oh, I'll be doing the job for Darby Allin and Hook. I look like I'm a wrestler, so I'm going to have to do the job for these small guys. Orange Cassidy will be beating me with one hand tied behind his back. That's what I haven't watched AEW in so long. I couldn't anymore. It was to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I do like, I've watched the highlights of the Hurt Syndicate, which is a highlight for me because I've always been an MVP fan. I love MJF. Shelton Benjamin is on my Mount Rushmore of the most underrated and underutilized wrestlers that have ever stepped in a ring. In terms of pure athleticism, the guy was always fucking money. Like, I go back to that spot where he vaulted across the ring and ate the super kick from Michaels. I'm like, that was Shelton Benjamin. That was the man could do anything, and he still can. He looks better now than he ever has in his career. Jesus Christ, that guy is jacked. I mean, and he can still move, and he's like 47, 48 years old. I mean, kudos to him. Lashley's the same boat. Lashley's 49, and the guy has muscles where most humans don't have muscles. I mean, and they've got MVP bringing that whole thing together as a mouthpiece, which is absolutely perfect. And then MJF in there, which I guess MJF is the Owen Hart of the Hurt Syndrome.
Yeah.
So
a winner, a Soul Survivor.
Yeah, man. They're doing some enjoyable shit. The stuff with the world champion is bullshit. I mean, if Hangman doesn't win at All In, I am not buying another AEW.
If they put one more belt on Mercedes Draws No Monet, like,
yeah, she's probably gonna win it All In.
I know, and it's like, what do you do then? What do you do then? I know Tony wants to fuck her, but I mean, sorry, Beast Mortos beat you to it, homeboy, because that's who's currently piping her. Which I'm not saying she's not an attractive female. She's a very attractive woman. As far as her wrestling acumen goes, though, I've always called her Botch Fest Banks, because unless somebody's putting her on her back, there's not going to be a good match to be had. And that was the thing with when Stephanie Vakir came in. It's like, oh, Mercedes. I was listening to JD from New York talk about it. Mercedes Monet, best match ever. I'm like, you thought off mullet wearing little runt. What on God's green earth match did you watch? I watched a star carry a fucking poodle to a good match. Yeah. But that is Kenny Omega wrestling a broomstick. He could work a good match. I say, you could work a good match with a dummy. And that's what Stephanie did. She was working a match with a dummy who all she knows how to do is fuck up her finish and hit 72 Meteoras in every match she's in. Like, that's the extent of it. And it's just like, Jesus, God in heaven. CMLL put their belt on her. I'm like, why? What? And then what about Camille? What did you do? You had her, who she was, one of the fucking most accomplished NWA female champions ever. And it's like, be Mercedes' bodyguard. And then they imitate the Jade Cargill angle. Oh, she mysteriously got attacked backstage. Oh no. And she's never seen again.
I don't have any idea what's going on in AEW outside of they're coming to town here and I can get free tickets to sit in the front row. That's how in demand they are. That I get to be a TV plant. Ooh. I just listen to Cornette talk shit. I hate to say it, but that's my favorite part about wrestling today. It's just Cornette talking shit.
I love listening.
Him talking shit is very enjoyable.
Yep. Him and what I love is you listen to him say one thing, and then I tune over to, and bro, let me tell you what really happened, bro. Fucking, I listen to Russo and Coachman. I do. I listen to those two. It's funny when you get that rare moment of clarity when Vince Russo is the fucking voice of reason in the room. We are living in a fractured timeline. That's all I can.
Listen, Vince Russo will never be the voice of reason, and I occasionally go back and forth. I'll listen to me some Vinny Roos, really for the entertainment. And listen, and all jokes aside, a broken clock is right twice a day. So every once in a while, Vince will say something. Russo will say something. Bro, listen, people don't want to watch that, bro. I'm like, okay, he's finally gotten something. But man, I do love listening to Cornette complain, because the dude still has a lot of good ideas, and it's a damn shame he got his ass in trouble. You're the other company, but you're scared of Cornette. But yeah, I definitely still enjoy the meat and potatoes. I'm sure as Corny would say a lot of time about it. I enjoy the meat and potatoes of it. Luckily, and like I said, it's just mainly because we've been watching so much wrestling, and overall I like Mercedes Monet. But yeah, she always will like fuck something up, and it's like, listen, you don't have to do the outside dive head first all the time, because you're gonna, like she does that every match. But I am excited to see her and Tony Storm. I do want to see how that turns out. I'm hoping, praying to God.
I want to see Tony Storm.
I would love to see, that would be make Mercedes Moné interesting if she were to lose that fight, lose that match.
Yeah.
But I'm scared they're trying to make her the belt collector now. It's just like, come on. Like, she's a good wrestler, but she's not like cutting these crazy promos. She's essentially doing the same shit she did in WWE. She is a fine wrestler, but she's stale as hell. This whole CEO thing with them having the cheers being part of her theme song, it's just like, dude, she's got to do something new.
Yeah, and she enters and the crowd goes mild every time. It's like I always say, she enters to the sound of deafening apathy from the crowd. It's like never anything. Like, she gets sometimes she'll get a muted reaction, and that's being generous. For somebody they prop up so damn much. It's just like, and there's things they could do with her, but she's not this dominant force. Like, what I see with her is like they're trying to do like the Ultimo Dragon thing. Remember when he had 13 belts, something like that? I'm like, the difference is he could wrestle. The Ultimo Dragon could wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, he was fucking amazing. Like, she's like a mid-level serviceable talent.
I wouldn't say that. She definitely tries to be. She
tries, but there's no reaction.
She has good moments for sure. She is very, it's definitely the same thing with she's not as good as people say she is online. Like, I would dare say she's good, but she's she's always damn near hurting herself. And agreed. Yeah, and that's what the funny thing, because AEW does that every couple of years. There's one, they did it with Christian when he was, when Kenny Omega was the bad guy, and he's chasing the AEW championship. Still, as much as Ultimo Dragon's a man, I loved it when, Kurt Angle went out. He went on that run, and everybody put their belt on Kurt Angle when he was the man in TNA. That's the last belt collector thing that I absolutely loved. I enjoyed it when Christian did it. I thought that was great for him. I like that he had all the championships, but he lost. Kurt Angle is still the man. That type of guy is believable. And as much as I like Mercedes Moné, she's not like Kurt Angle. It's just not that, for me, that's doing a little too much. Where, and then she just won the damn
that CMLL title.
Yeah, and I'm just like, she's not Kurt Angle. Like, she's a good, she's not, alpha number one female wrestler. I wouldn't say that she's that good. Kurt Angle, it was believable.
Yep.
Christian, well, not a Kurt Angle, he at least made it part of his gimmick where he's cutting good promos and he's carrying all these belts and he's talking shit to Kenny Omega. She just has them. And that's my problem. She just has them.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm glad she won the Owen. I am interested to see, her licking Tony Storm's face. I thought that was, I'm like, finally, she's doing something interesting. Because she'll have good matches, but I don't care about I don't care about what she's saying. Her and Willow, that whole thing was so fucking boring. It just do something. Just do something with her that's actually interesting besides her having the belt.
Do you think that WWE will win that weekend versus All Out Texas? Because didn't WWE pull out an extra show, and they're doing a Saturday night's main event and all this other stuff to take attention away from that? Yeah,
and it's the Great American Bash is the Friday.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're doing the Evolution pay-per-view again, which is the lowest rated pay-per-view WWE's ever done when they did the first one. So we'll see. Yeah, you're gonna put it, as Tony Schiavone said. Yeah, they're gonna have one of the Bellas. Weren't they gonna have, the plan was to have one of the Bellas like main evented or some shit like that?
She came back.
That'll put asses in seats.
Yeah,
Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I do think that on the actual Saturday, I think AEW is gonna win. But that weekend, yeah, I mean it's because aren't they gonna move Collision to like that Thursday or something too? But yeah, I mean the other stuff WWE is gonna win. But yeah, I think on actual prime night on Saturday. I mean, look, it ain't gonna be by much. I mean, Saturday's main event's gonna do numbers, but I do think like overall show, yeah. Goldberg isn't. It ain't that much of a draw anymore.
No, Oldberg, as you called him this past weekend.
Oh,
Yep, fucking Oldberg. I got more faith in All In than I do Oldberg.
yep.
Let's check in with our audience because we have some wrestling-related topics to discuss. First off, Xavier to God says, what do you think of Cena's GOAT character currently? He's all right. I don't dislike what he's doing. I think he could go a little more. But we'll see.
I just wish he stopped dressing the same. That's my only issue. I'm loving the GOAT character. I'm loving the entrances and shit, but it's still in the jorts, still in the hat, still in the t-shirt. It's just I don't like that part.
I was hoping he would change the entire appearance when he turned heel, like change the gear up and different entrance theme and make it feel like it's a different character. I don't dislike that. Being said, I think it's improved since WrestleMania. He's kind of got into a better groove with it. Not to say it was, he ever did like he was doing bad before, but it's picked up steam. I think as far as like the crowd's cheering him now. Yeah, which is it's kind of funny. It's like, but yeah, I don't mind it. No, I think it's decent right now. I'd like to see LA Knight take the belt off him eventually instead of Cody. Yeah. But that probably won't happen.
It would make LA Knight.
It would. Absolutely.
And then no matter what else you did with his career, he'd be the dude that took the belt off Cena, did what Cody Rhodes couldn't do, and he'll always be in the conversation, and you'll have a Jericho. He didn't really do a lot between like 03 and 07, but he was interesting as shit after he won that Undisputed Championship. Because he had that pedigree of I main evented a WrestleMania and this, and that. You give that to LA Knight, keep him a face or whatever the hell he is, and make him interesting. That would be a fun title reign. It should be longer than Jey Uso's, but it should happen. I'm on that side. 860 Saiyan God says, is the heel playbook supposed to make wrestlers sound like whiny bitches? Because that's what Cena sounds like since becoming one.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, most of your heels are supposed to be swarmy villains anyway. So, I mean, you've got your, you've always got your badass heels, but yeah, some of them, I mean, you got, they've got to sound like whiny and shit. It happens. It's, it's the way the booking goes and the writing and the character direction. I mean, they've got their moments where they're not, but yeah, at the end of it, yeah, you're going to get your swarmy, whiny heels.
It all depends. I mean,
it works for Cena. I think it works for his character in the way he's trying to go. Like, I'm going to ruin wrestling, and he'll basically do it, at any cost. So when something doesn't go his way, yeah.
What's the deal with R-Truth? I know he's now just Ron the Killings or whatever, but is he like in a story with Cena still, or did that just end?
I think it seems like they're pointing him towards Jimmy Uso.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really care about the Usos, but at least Jay is out of the main event for King of the Ring. There's a positive there.
Yep.
But 860 saying, God, I think there have been plenty of I'm trying to think, were like Stone Cold and The Rock whiny heels? Like I don't remember Corporate Rock being whiny. He would talk shit and then get beat up and then talk more shit. And then sometimes get really vicious, but I don't remember him like being like a Chris Jericho or, complaining about that shit. Even in the Nation of Domination, he's like, it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's a whatever, a respect thing. I don't remember him being whiny. Same with Stone Cold. Even though he got weird.
Wasn't, but Paranoid Rattlesnake was very whiny. The whole, him not getting respect and everything, and then being mad at Vince, and then, then he's leading the Alliance and the fucking Stone Cold appreciation and everything. So he was whiny, but yeah, Rock was never whiny villain. He was the you ain't shit. You look like Tarzan. You wrestle like Jane type shit.
It's so funny how me and so many people in my life get a lot of their shit talking from The Rock, including you, Dion. Like, you and I'll talk shit to each other sometimes. I'm like, I think I've heard this one. Oh, wait.
Listen, man, the fact that that's how much when people talk about pro wrestling, I will die on the hill. You know, that's why when it's good, it's the best thing on TV because so much of my personality. The thing, especially now, you know, whenever you know the boys, you know, I'm trying to be the cool parent. It's like I'm disciplining you, but I'm being cool about it. I'll change something, and I'll, you know, they'll be like, but you said, and I'll say, hey, remember when I said blah 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 blah? I lied, and it's become such a thing that I'll set it up, and he'll be like, he lied, Viva la Raza. And it's got to the point now, D2 knows that it's wrestling, but he'll do that. He'll be like, hey, remember what I said? I lied. I did the it doesn't matter thing for years. You know, Hillary and I'll be, you know, we'll be talking shit to each other, you know, and right now, the phrase from wrestling that I've been saying is, my boy Scott Stein, tell your story walking, bitch. I've been saying that so much here. Someone at work was giving me shit. I said, tell your story walking, bitch. So I'm with you. I will die on the hill that it is totally okay that you and I got so much of our shit talking from wrestling. 100%.
Laying some smack down. Thank you, though, 860 saying God. Xavier to God. Lots of gods on tonight's show. Pete, you don't mean Shelton Benjamin. Or don't you mean Shelton Benjamin? Did you say Benjamin Shelton?
No. Did I do a Hogan? Did I say Benjamin Shelton?
Brother.
Said Shelton Benjamin. I was like, I met that.
That's a fellow. Yeah, we're still shitting on Hogan thing.
Yeah,
I met. He said Shelton Benjamin was like, we never even had a conversation, dude.
Yeah, he said he referred to him as Benjamin Shelton like twice. I met Shelton. He's super cool. Like, dude's really nice. He was really nice. I met him and Bull Buchanan.
Was it at the Hooters?
Yes, it was. I told you about that.
Okay, that's you that tells that story. Okay, because I'm like, I keep thinking it's Phil at the Hooters down here, but I'm like, no,
it was in Grand Rapids after a SmackDown in like, I want to say 03, probably 03 or 04.
Well, it was a good year for wrestling. I used to think 03 sucked, but then I went back and rewatched it all, and I'm like, no, I just wasn't right this time.
Yeah,
I think 03 is a pretty damn good year.
Yeah.
Darian217, thank you for both of these very generous super chats. Darian says, AEW needs someone who has actual experience in booking wrestling. With all the money that Tony Khan has, he couldn't at least have people that had worked in Ring of Honor in charge of that. At least those people had experience.
When he bought Ring of Honor, didn't Gabe Sapolsky sell it to him? I can't remember if it was Gabe Sapolsky that sold it, but yeah, Tony Khan. Remember, he had like, what do you have? He had Arn Anderson backstage as an agent. I think at one point he had Dean Malenko back there. Bret Hart had offered to help out backstage, and the AEW talent didn't want it. They didn't think there's anything to glean from these guys, and it's like, okay, keep have fun drawing. You book a 5,000 seat venue and you're selling 1,200 tickets. Enjoy. But it's sad because AEW has a talented roster full of absolutely fantastic fucking performers for the most part, and they're so woefully. It'd be like if they had any kind of storylines with the majority. They do have some angles going. I'm not saying they don't. I don't like the John Moxley, I'm going to fucking hide the belt thing for a year. I don't like it either. Look, I'm not an Adam Page fan at all. I call him Brokeback Adam Page. But I would be remiss if I didn't say I didn't want to see him go over for the fucking title, because what killed me was how they mishandled Swerve when he had the title, because I'm a huge Swerve Strickland guy. How WWE dropped the ball on him when he was Hit Row, I think it was. How they dropped the ball. Yeah. How they dropped the ball on that guy, because he's fucking fantastic. Him and Nana together are great. I really wanted to see more out of his world title run. It bothered me. And so it's like, yeah, I would love to see Hangman take it away from Moxley, just because I'm so sick of Moxley and the Dick Riders. They fucked that angle up. Well, I still believe that the entire payoff for that was supposed to be Shane McMahon coming in and being the guy behind or whatever. And that's kind of where I think they lost the plot, was when that was not gonna, there was no way that was gonna happen. And they're like, fuck, let's pivot, and this is the best that Tony Khan could come up with. I don't know if Moxley has been, I'm sure John has creative input on this. The guy's a veteran, and he's probably got Tony's ear, obviously, because he gets away with whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, every time the wind blows, he gigs. So I mean, it's it's fairly obvious he can do whatever the hell he wants creatively, So I want to see him lose the title. And I mean, the Death Rider stable, like, I like Claudio, Cesaro, guy's talented, beyond what he's doing. Fucking Pac, he's out injured. He never wears pants. It's like they're all in like street clothes, and Pac's still wearing his dun-dun-duns. And then you've got the accountant, Paul Gruber. What's his name there? Fucking what's his nuts? Wheeler Yuta. They keep him around to do their fucking taxes. So and you got Marina Shafir, which I'm like, she can come choke me out. That's fine. But what did she do?
They should have booking him like Roman Reigns was the fucking problem.
Yep.
And I think we all have a very much different reaction to all of this if Christian beat him. If Christian took the belt off of him with the fucking contract, we are sitting in a much better place, because Christian was the bad guy who was getting cheered on television.
Yep.
Like, I get that he wanted to take time off, and I because did he get injured? And I get all that, but Christian should have won that. He should have won the belt.
Yes,
he should have won the belt. And then if you want to have Moxley win it back, I get all that. And listen, and I used to enjoy the whole, but we haven't seen the belt since October. What are you doing? AEW would 100% benefit from an actual experienced booker. 100%.
Yes.
Darian, thank you very much for your generous super chat. Darian has another one, guys, that says, speaking of Evolution 2 in Atlanta, I'm heading there next for the show that weekend. I'll be there in Nick's neck of the woods. By the way, asking for a friend. Where do you recommend to find those white women? Button Wayne's World VJ, please. Darian, I'll tell you, the ladies of Atlanta are very friendly, especially at the dining establishments. So, they're not all white, but you'll find a lot of very friendly ladies in Atlanta. So just tell them that WCBS sent you. They'll think you're talking about the affiliate from New York. But, we have some roots down there. No, but Darian, Atlanta's a great city. If you've never been, I mean, there's tons of great stuff to do, great places to go. You could walk the Belt Loop and drink at all the bars. We've done that. It's a lot of fun. Too bad you're not down there the weekend of Michael Jai White, because you might run into us, because we're probably going to be down there for that. So WCBS has been getting together a lot this year, except for Kendo. Kendo just doesn't like us, so that's why he's not here tonight.
That's why they got replacement Kendo.
Yeah, he called you. Could you replace me for tonight? I'm busy. Sure.
He asked me a couple weeks ago. I think it was. He was like, "Hey, can you?" And I remember you messaged me this morning, and I'm like, "Oh yeah." I was like, It's that day."
Well, we're happy to have you, man.
Glad to be here.
Here is that button you requested, Darian.
Oh, excuse me, Russell, but I believe I requested the hand job.
What are jokes I didn't get for 500, Alex? But now love them. That might be the best joke in Wayne's World. I don't know. There's a lot of great jokes in Wayne's World. Xavier to God, thank you very much. You guys see Rikishi's rant on Jay losing the title? I have read about it.
Same. I didn't watch it yet. I've just read different articles.
Every time everyone starts liking him again, he opens his mouth, and it's like the most Rikishi thing. It is 100% the most Rikishi thing ever. Like, you're like, no, it's not the writers, man. Like, I hate, you saw your kids had a match at WrestleMania. We all saw it, dude.
Yeah, like, what do you expect? We heard those promos. I'm fighting for my life, Oos. It's like, what the hell is this guy's, like, emotion? He's not The Rock where he cuts a promo and you're like, oh, man, this is epic. It's like, nah, he kind of whines about shit, and then he screams about 4 letters, yeet. Like, that's it. That's his gimmick. He's just
4 letters, 1 word, yeet. Like, Yeet. What?
Sounds like he's laughing. Like who was it? Tony Atlas would laugh for that one guy.
Yeah. There was a time where that was the best thing going on in ECW. Tony Atlas and Christian as champion. That was the only good thing happening in ECW.
Oh my
You're
God!
not wrong. I remember that.
Oh my God, Tony Atlas.
That was so funny. Like, I mean, it's funny now because how awful it was back then. But yeah, like, you know, the kid wrestling fans that exist like him, you know, and it's just so funny. He finally got the rocket ship, and it's like, oh, you are better with your brother. Like, you need your brother to bounce off for promos. Like, you know, you're still uncomfortable. You know, I still reference I don't give a damn about the Tribal Chief. You know, I reference like he's great when his brother's there, or when it's Sammy, or if he's in a tag team. He's in a tag team with Cody. Like, he is just not a promo guy. You know, because he needs someone to say something, and then he can say something cool quickly. Because, you know, oh, I'm tired of everybody saying that my time is like, bitch, spit it out, Jay, spit it out. Come on.
Yeah, he's trying to be like the Rock one, where, you know, the Rock would say a bunch of things, and then take a second, and then say a few more things, and then say something about shoving it up your ass. Like, you were following the cadence. It was great. Like, I wish wrestling would understand. Like, I hate when they go, we're not in wrestling, we're in the business of making movies. It's like, no, you're fucking not, okay? Because if you were in the business of making movies, you wouldn't have had the gobbledygooker and half the shit that you're in. You're into making sports entertainment, and it's why we love you. But this, like, overly dramatic wrestling, when your average wrestler can't carry that kind of shit, it sucks the drama out of it and makes it parody to me. And Jey Uso represents parody in wrestling, where it's, oh man, what is Jey Uso great for? Waving his arms and saying yeet. Like, he doesn't have these banger matches by himself. The Usos did. The Usos were an awesome tag team. Like, I got nothing but respect for the Usos. But
Mm-hmm.
man, is a singles run for each of those guys, like, that even got a WrestleMania title win. You're like Ultimate Warrior levels awesome by yourself. Hot to some people, but we need Hulk Hogan to come pick things back up real quick. Like, it wasn't you, buddy. And I'm okay with that. Rikishi, I get it. He loves his sons. He thinks that, oh, we're part of the Anawai family. Our shit don't stink. It's like, no. You produced The Rock, Roman Reigns, and then a bunch of really good wrestlers, but you've only had like a couple megastars, and they're not everybody in your family.
Right.
That's a long way to answer that, Xavier to God. Yes, I did see it, and that's what I had to say about it.
That's a good point. Because every time we're like, you know what, we do love Rikishi. He says something, we're all just like, God damn.
Man, fuck Rikishi. I'm still mad about the Royal Rumble 2000 when he screwed over Too Cool. Scotty was his boy. Grandmaster was his boy. And that punk was only worried about a title shot that he wasn't going to get. Your cousin main evented WrestleMania, not you. So I think you should apologize to Scotty and Grandmaster.
I did it.
R.I.P.
I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people.
Okay, Rikishi.
I did it. Ah, shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. That is my favorite Rock promo.
It's arguably the best one.
It's not as, you know, he's got a lot of, to me, he's got so many good ones that it's kind of hard to pick, like, you know, what is the absolute best one. The Billy Gunn one was great. The, his runs with Booker T were great. The ones where he's talking shit to Stephanie are great. It's like every week they were awesome promos. People that weren't watching back then don't realize it's like, oh, what are you going to get? You're going to get a good Rock promo, and depending on when you were watching, Stone Cold's going to destroy something. Like, it was great, man. It was exciting.
He ended Billy Gunn's freaking career with that promo. God.
You ever seen that video of Billy Gunn going, yeah, but it was really funny?
Yeah, I love that. He was like, it didn't piss me off at all. He was like, I was laughing my ass off backstage.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, as much of a weird dude as Billy Gunn is, it always made me feel better that he was like, no, I fucking loved it.
Yep. Because you can't be salty about it at that point. You just got to be like, yeah, I got fucking cooked. Like, I got cooked, and it was funny as fuck, you know?
It was. It's I mean, I can still hear it right now in my head. But my name's Billy. It doesn't matter. Like he just tears him apart.
Yep.
Listen, man. One of my. Speaking of Rock promos, here lately, because strangely enough, Juventud Guerrero keeps coming up on Wrestling with Regrets channel because he does all the retro rewatches and shit, and I just keep thinking of you lost to a guy named Juventud. That might be my favorite Rock movie. It's just like such an innocuous thing, but he makes it late and it's fucking hilarious. It's like, even back then I was like, I like Juventud Guerrero, but goddamn, you killed him from across the fucking bay.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you killed him from another promotion.
And Hoovy, and it's funny because like Hoovy was doing that whole the juice thing where he was like basically like the Mexican Rock. He had the sunglasses and oh, it was funny. And I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it at the time, but everybody complained about working with Juventud. They say he was so unsafe to work with, like in the ring, like very. I
can't remember the dude's name. But
I can't remember.
He was in the cruiserweight division. I just watched the clip too. Lost the it was the god damn, it was like the dude from tennis. I can't remember. But his story made it rounds again. He was doing it wasn't Chris Van Vliet, it was one of the I think it's the dude that has the podcast with Kevin Nash. He was doing his shoot stuff. And he told the story about he went out there and Chris Benoit was like, yo, if Juventud doesn't want to drop it, fucking beat his ass and drop him on his head. Because I had always heard those rumors, but he was like, I wasn't gonna do it, but they tried to kick me in the head and knock me out. So I just beat the shit out of him. And I was like, well, do me that fucking difficult?
Yeah. Yep, that was always the thing about him. Kid Cash. Yeah, Kid Cash was a little fucking roughneck too. Like he was a tough little shit.
Dude,
I liked
backbone dudes that made that transition from the end of the Attitude Era, to the future. He was one that was when the cruiserweight division was still pretty damn good.
Yep.
God, I miss the cruiserweight division being an exciting selling point.
Yeah, dude.
That was when you used to get your luchadors and your high flying shit, and it was fun because like I loved when Nitro would open and they'd have like a 3-on-3, and I'm not a big fan of trios matches, but when they'd have like a 3-on-3 and you'd get the luchadors in, and Mike Tenay would sit there and he'd give you the backstory on all of them. That's what I loved when they had Shivani, Tenay, and Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan's still on my Mount Rushmore of commentators. Like,
oh yeah,
and when I do color, like I'll use some of Bobby's lines and Gordon Soley shit like that, and it's fun. Doing commentary as a heel is fun. And Heenan was just a master at it. The clip with Pillman coming up and grabbing his shoulders where Heenan's because he just had that neck surgery. He's like,
neck surgery.
What are you doing? He got up and he was pissed. Pillman
Brian Zane just did, because I can't remember, was that Bash at the Beach like 97 or whatever? I don't think it was better, but he just did that. He's like, yeah, this is the show where he runs up to Heenan.
Yep.
He had next and Heenan was fucking furious. I was like, dude, I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, he flipped out and like walked away from the table. He was halfway up the ramp when he turned around and finally came back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Heenan was pissed. Pillman was.
Didn't Pillman apologize though?
He did. He didn't
forgot that he had. He was just doing stuff.
Yep. Yeah, he didn't really like. I don't think he shook Bobby. He just more or less put his hands on him, and Bobby had told, because I think Bobby made a point to tell everybody, "Don't touch me," because of his surgery, "Don't touch me." And here comes Pillman just grabbing Bobby by the shoulders. Bobby he freaked. He's ripping his jacket off.
Bobby was probably doing more damage to himself.
Yeah.
You ain't lying. That dude was still out there partying, hanging out like he was in his fucking 20s on the road.
Well, that's what we all wish we were still doing, right, Dion?
Shit.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, actually. I don't need to be going out there and ransacking Brad Pitt's house and doing all this crazy shit like other people do. You guys hear about that?
No. Yeah, man. That shit was crazy.
What
Yeah,
happened?
it's
Lord knows he's going through enough bullshit with his damn ex-wife.
Pete, to answer your question, somebody just broke into his house and ransacked it. Like, I wouldn't, like, even if I had entry to Brad Pitt's house, I wouldn't even care. It's like, okay, Brad Pitt lives here.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like he's gonna have anything interesting for me.
Yeah, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely in the camp of, super rich are all weird people, but I mean,
Yeah.
fuck. I'd still be nice to Brad Pitt.
Right? Like, you've never wronged me, so I'm not going to
Right.
break into your house.
You've entertained me more times than not.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you got
Right.
that going for you, which is nice, I guess.
I mean, maybe I could hold Legends of the Fall against him, but I mean, I don't know.
You watched that piece of shit?
The ending's hilarious with the bear.
My wife loves that movie, so unfortunately, I have
Okay, that's fair. That
I have seen
I really
that.
can't talk shit after that.
yeah, that's the only reason I've seen that fucking movie is because of her.
That's a dramatic ass movie.
Isn't
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins in that too?
Yep, he plays the
Yep.
dad.
He's a dad.
Yep.
I just think of the King of the Hill parody about Hank's truck. Oh, that show's coming back in a month. I cannot wait.
It is, man. Hillary's fucking. She got me fucking jacked excited for her. I can't wait. R.I.P. John Redcorn, though.
Yeah.
And Dale.
Yep.
Yep.
And what's her name? The daughter,
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
Brittany Murphy passed away, and Tom Petty, who played her husband Lucky, is gone
Yep.
too.
Lucky Kleinschmidt. That was his name. That's my King of the Hill trivia for people that are like, I love that show. What was Lucky's last name? And they usually just look at me and they go, Lucky had a last name? And I go, yeah. It was Kleinschmidt. Would I hang out with Brad Pitt? Of course I would. If he's like, hey, you guys want to hang out? I'd be like, yeah, man. Tell me about your time on Jackass. Let's go skateboarding. I mean, that's a real story. He is on Jackass. You ever seen those clips?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have not.
Yeah, Pete, check them out. Like, it's just straight up.
Right.
It's an episode where they're skateboarding in like gorilla suits or something at night, and all of a sudden, they're like a second gorilla pops up, and then he's like busting out some moves, and he takes off his helmet or his mask, and it's Brad Pitt, and you're just watching Brad Pitt with the Jackass dudes.
Was it as fun as watching Steve-O and was it Pontius get beat down by Umaga?
No, it wasn't as fun as that.
No.
Or as William Regal called him, Umanga.
Mr. Humanga.
Humanga. Dude,
Humanga.
I remember 'cause we were watching that in Jeff's dorm because that was back in college when we had a fucking super dupe setup. I had an apartment. Garrett worked at fucking the Union
The pizza.
Pizzeria or whatever. We go to Jeff's. He get out of Garrett Gower. He bring a whole pizza over, and we would watch Raw. And when they were obviously doing that stupid ass guest host, and like immediately we were like, "Oh shit, is Umaga going back?" And Hillary was like, "What's going on?" And you and I were like, "He won't stay down, and he's pissing Umaga off."
Yep.
Because he was kicking him in the head and shit. And
I
I always
remember
like
that.
Evo acting like he didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, but you know that they told you. And Pine was like, "Yeah, he was fucked up." Like, I love every time that story comes back up, or when they retell it, especially now that Pontius is all like old former surfer guy now. He tells it a couple times a year. Like, I fucking love when they tell that story. It's so funny. R.I.P. Umaga.
Yes, R.I.P. indeed.
Yep.
So yeah, I like how other people are chiming in too. They'd hang out with Brad Pitt if he wasn't weird. I guess that's the theme for tonight's show, folks that are listening at home. Would you hang out with Brad Pitt as long as he's not weird? You can shoot us an email to info@worldclassbullshitters.com. Subject matter, yes or no to Brad Pitt hanging out, and I will read those on air next week. Now, folks, next Thursday is the 3rd of July, and I don't know if how we're going to do next week's show, but there will be something. There might be a very patriotic episode in the hopper for you guys. So if you're feeling America, and I don't know if you are these days, and that's really not what this show's about, but if you're feeling alive, listen to us next week. We might review Independence Day. We might talk about the time the aliens invaded and our thoughts about that shit. Off the top of your head, outside of Independence Day, what is the most patriotic movie you can think of, Dion?
Oh shoot.
We're all thinking of the same one.
Oh, Red Dawn.
Pete?
Jesus. Oh, honestly, it might sound stupid. The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
I'm
Great
going with Rocky 4. Because if I can change and you can change, we could all change. Yeah, I love Rocky 4. It's outside of the sex robot for Paulie, it's a classic.
Dude, it's a great one, dude. I get mad every time Apollo dies.
Right.
Throw in the damn towel.
If he dies, he dies.
I made a turkey meme out of Drago the other day.
Shit.
You and those damn turkeys, folks. This Thanksgiving season, make sure you keep your turkeys away from Pete Daddy Dollar.
Hide them, or I will.
You...
I will find them and I will shove them up my ass.
There you go. I was going to put the classier way to say it.
Not
he
me.
turns a turkey into a suppository.
Not me.
Do
baby.
you get sick when you shove them up your ass and they're frozen?
Well, it's like a slow cooker.
Okay. So no salmonella. I don't.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine.
It's like a snake eating eggs, like an ostrich egg.
Have I ever told how that whole stupid thing started? Is like because we used to have like 3 Thanksgivings every year. We'd have one at our house, one at my parents, and then one with my in-laws. And I'm not a huge fan of turkey. Like, I love poultry. I can only eat so much turkey. And I said at Thanksgiving, I would rather shove this turkey up my ass than eat any more turkey. And everybody started laughing. So that's where those memes started.
Oh, okay. I just thought you had a fetish for cold.
No.
Spheres.
It was a rare outburst on my part. I know that never happens when I'm drinking heavily, and yeah, but I was like, I'd rather shove this turkey at my ass than eat any more turkey. It was like, what? I'm like, yeah, you heard me. I'm like, I'm sick of it. This is the 3rd Thanksgiving I've had. I had turkey leftovers 3 goddamn weeks. I'm like, man, somebody's gonna make turkey Christmas. I'd rather shove it up my ass than eat it. Give me some more cranberry sauce, you bastards.
Clone Geek, keep that into the hopper for the WCBS lore. Episode 450, Pete tells the origin of the turkey in his butthole story. That, folks, right there is the most important thing you've heard today. The definition of world class. Coming in your ear right now.
There's
Pete's
a reason
turkey.
they had me on.
Yes, because Kendo was busy. No, I'm just... I'm just fucking with you, man.
Going home. I'm going home. I'm already home, damn it.
I'm waiting for Pete to tell us his final 2 films. This guy in the chat from Twitter has listed 6 films, starting with The Gate, then Gremlins, then Terminator, then Goodfellas. I'm waiting for 2 and 1. Like Peter Rossi out there listening right now, could you finish off your list? Because I'd like to know what number 1 and number 2 are for, I guess, your most patriotic films. But I never thought of The Gate or Gremlins as patriotic.
That's a great
Gremlins.
Gremlins?
Good old Stephen Dorff. Oh well, I don't think Peter's going to tell us the rest of his list. I'm heartbroken, guys. If this was the olden days and Dion didn't have to be up for work early in the morning, I'd say, you know what, we're going to stay on the air until this guy answers this damn question. I don't care if it takes till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 5 a.m. We're going to keep rolling. We'll bring, you know what, folks, I'm going to bring you some late. I know, right? We need to know. Give me the codes, Natalia. But I guess we...
Give me the fucking cards, Natalia.
Oh, by the way, folks, Dion and the family came over to visit, and the kids played GoldenEye, and they get the game. The future is secure. The next generation's gonna be all right. They're actually pretty good at the game. So all this GoldenEye doesn't play well today. It does on the Xbox, and kids are playing that shit, and they're yelling at each other's asses.
Losing.
Yeah, he almost won, dude. It was a 4-5 match. It was a good match.
He's so funny.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to put this baby to bed. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Darian217 for all those giant super chats you sent him. We appreciate that. Should we gift him with Baby Steiner Math as a thank you? As our closer?
I think that's very fair. Very fair.
All right. So, folks, thank you for watching. Next week, you're going to get a lot more content back in the hopper. Check out Pete Daddy Dollar's Bitchin' T-shirt. Where can they get that, Pete?
You can get that by contacting me directly. I have a whole tote of them. All of them are $20. Sizes small through 2X for the big boys. And yeah, you just contact me and I ship directly. There's no middleman. No warehouse. I print these out myself and they wash well and the logos don't wear out. They're stretchy. Yeah. So, and I also have trading cards available with an NFC chip in them. And you can scan that and it takes you to a promo that you can only see if you've got the cards. And they're not these flimsy, paper ones. They're like plastic. These are credit card materials. So yeah, Chris Fisk made these for me.
So what you're telling me is this turkey season, I have to draw you a wrestling t-shirt with a turkey suppository.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I would wear that to the fucking ring with me.
Well, gobble, gobble, motherfucker. It's turkey time. So, folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with more. Until next time, folks, be smart. Yeah, Laden Swallow, I'm sorry you missed it. But don't worry. You can catch the replay. And we're never going away. So, folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me and he's not even going to try. So Samoa Joe, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 2/3%. I got 141 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice.